Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun.
Oh, good. Well, it's still morning. Okay, so here's the deal. I don't normally stream at this time. In fact, I'm still working. I am going to be doing some work. I'll be chatting with you guys. I'm going to be doing some work too. And but I, after the stream, I started looking more into this Donald Trump social media company that he's launching, and there's a stock for it because they're going public using a special purpose acquisition company, DWAC. So I got in. I decided to buy some. I got in at $18. And this thing is just going crazy. And so I said, heck, why the heck not? Let's do some streaming. So come over here. Hey, Win, how are you? Oh, I did miss you this morning. I missed you this morning. And you decided you missed me also and just had it done. It is exactly what happened, Win. I mean, we had a pretty okay stream this morning, too. I mean, I was venting a little bit about Bitcoin and other things, but it ended up being a good day. I made an okay trade. So actually both my live treasury trade and my sim ES futures trades worked out pretty well. In fact, I got out and I was like, wow, I think I should probably extend my profits, but I'm going to get out because this is the time to get out. And then afterwards, S&P 500 really dipped, right? So I don't know. This might be pointless. We'll see if we get people in here on this. I'm sure that it's not going to be quite as crazy as GameStop, but I mean, look at this chart, man. This is absolutely bonkers. Like, it's really astounding to me that I bought in basically at $18. I'm kind of looking at this and being like, how did I get such a good entry? It was good, right? But look at it go. They halted it right here. Right here was where they halted it. And it's just going. What would you decide it's worth? I think that we just keep it. Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I want to be very, very careful about what I say because you know how much I hate the you buy something and then you turn around and you pump the stock game, right? I don't want to be that. But so I'm not making any call here on how much it is worth. If the current price is fairly valued, I don't know anything about how the SPAC is structured or anything like that. So it could be that we're all just buying in on something and then later on we're going to find out that the way the SPAC is organized or something, like we get nothing, and when the final stock comes out we're all screwed. Something like that could happen. So I just want to be clear, this is hyper speculative. I am not trying to make a call on whether it will go up or down. I want to be involved because this is like really cool. I'm entertained. I'm super entertained. So if I lose the whole investment, then I think that was money well spent for the entertainment value. You know what I mean? But here's the thing. There's like the bullish scenario and there's the bearish scenario, right? So the bearish scenario is we're going to lose everything. Okay. Like straight up, we're just going to lose everything. The bullish scenario is we're going to make like 1,000 times our money. No joke. Okay. Because they're talking about competing with Google. Okay. Like Google is a company that's valued like $100 billion. Okay, so you get a stock here that could be worth 200 times what it is today. If it really reached its full potential. I'm not saying that I think it's going to do that, But like that's the kind of a situation we're looking at. I don't think you're never going to see something like this again. You're never going to see something like this again. It's really quite crazy. And yeah, the stock is quite bonkers as well. I would assume. Can I really say this? Yeah, no, I think I can. I think I can say this. We're really likely to trend up all day, because what's going to happen is just more and more people are going to hear about it, and more people are going to want to get in. So yeah, it's exciting, right? His companies have a history of failing, from his airline to his university to his college and casinos. Well, yeah, but you think you got to look about with Donald Trump. Well, so first of all, he's ADHD, but second of all, he takes really high risk ventures. Okay, so I don't think on any of his ventures has he ever tried to make a company go public like this. I don't know. I don't know how it's structured or any of that. Like I said, it's either going to be like a tremendous success or a catastrophic failure. and I'm just grateful that we're here, born in this day, and know a lot about stocks and can watch it and derive the entertainment from it, because I don't know. I don't think that his previous failings necessarily would... I wouldn't use that as a heuristic to say, well, his past businesses have failed, so probably this business will fail too. You get what I mean? It's, I think, a pretty different situation. Has any of his ventures ever had this kind of public interest? Probably not. I'm sure they'll have issues. I'm sure that they'll go live and their website will get attacked, and I'm sure that there'll be all sorts of drama along the way. This is something that it's like, if it works out, you're going to hold it for 10 years and it's going to be worth, $2,000. Or it's going to be worth zero. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my usual streaming stuff over to here. Yeah. So I don't really need to see my stock charts. We'll keep the S&P 500 and all that over there. By this window over here, I've got some work to do. So put that. I really think you bought it nice and early. I don't know anyone yet who's talking about it, and I knew about the plan, so others who follow him must know. Yeah, it really is like I was quite surprised when I came in. Well, so like I saw when they announced it, I didn't really see anything about it publicly on Twitter, right? And then I saw like one passing reference. So it does kind of look like that the media is trying to, well, let's go see. Let's go see. If we come over to CNBC. Okay, so they are reporting it. Trading in Trump-linked SPAC halted briefly. Shares soar over 180% on news of social media deal. Okay, so they are covering it. I didn't really see anything about it, and like, even though I saw it, I was like, okay, I see it. I see that they're going to make a website. I'll go there and sign up, to hopefully be able to get an account. And then just kind of forgot about it and didn't even look into the SPAC thing. And then when I got off, I looked at it and I saw the price. And when I got it, when I looked at it, rather, it was like right here. It was like somewhere over in here. And I was like, well, it would be nice if I could get a little pullback to get in. I can just put it in at 18 and see if I get lucky. And then they went and filled me here on this bar right here. And there was a back and forth. And I was like, okay, that's cool. And then it went up like this. And I was like, okay, let's record a TikTok about it now. So I got to do that. And then by the time the TikTok was done, we were right here. And now we're all the way up at 29, and I'm starting to look at this, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is actually like a really truly big deal, and we were early. So I'm pretty, if you can't tell, I'm super excited right now. It's just like, this is going to be so fun. But yeah, we don't, I don't have to yap the whole time. Oh, there's AC Chem's back. How are things? We're doing well. I'm up. So remember what earlier today, Ace, we said Donald Trump was making a social media website. Well, I went back and looked at it and found the stock that was associated with it. So I decided to start the stream back up again and just record what happens to it, because I feel like this is a pretty big move. We'll see. We'll see if Facebook, or sorry, if YouTube picks it up. Let's see here. Yeah, make sure you give the video a like button so that we get people in there. It would make me throw up in my mouth a little to spend money on something that might put money in that asshole's pocket. So here's the thing. If Obama was to announce today a tech company, Obama, a tech company just like this, even if it wasn't a tech company, if Obama just announced, I'm making my own Netflix competitor, he wouldn't do that. He would make an agreement with Netflix, which is different. But if he were to announce a Netflix company and there was a SPAC out there with it, I would buy twice as much as I bought of Donald Trump's thing. So you just know, just based off of the situation itself, that there's going to be a ton of people buying it just because they like Donald Trump or Barack Obama or whoever it is, right? And what moves price? Orders move price. So we know that we have a situation where we can make a really good guess that there are going to be more orders in the future. And then on top of that, we also have a situation where we might have something that could really, truly be worth a ton of money at some point in the future. So I don't know. Maybe I lose all of my money. I think it's a strong possibility here. Ace says, yes, me too, because I don't think Obama is an immoral monster. I wonder if he would cancel the Democrats from his site. Okay, so I did see one thing in here. Let's see if I can find it. It was this right here. Okay. So here is they've got like a little slideshow. So if I can go previously, let's see if I can find what was the quote. Trump Media and Technology Group aspires to create a media powerhouse to rival the liberal media consortium and fight back against big tech companies of Silicon Valley who have used their unilateral power to silence opposing voices in America. In January 2021, big tech, Facebook, Twitter, and others began to forcibly silence Donald J. Trump and many other conservative voices. This is unacceptable. If big tech can censor the president of the United States, then they can censor anyone. To counter this liberal virus and bias and dangerous exercise of tech monopoly censorship, Donald Trump and TMTG intend to create a media company and technology company rooted in social media, digital streaming, information technology, infrastructure, and more. In the year 2021, the media pendulum has swung dangerously far to the left. TMTG intends to even the playing field. Okay, so that's not the quote. Where was the quote that I was looking for? What happened to freedom of speech? What happened to America's voice imbalance? And talking about that. What if digital media wasn't the FANG monopoly? Okay. And they go into the overview. Okay. So they're going to have a social media website. They're going to have a streaming service. They're going to have a news service. And then in the future, they want to have a technology infrastructure. Okay. I swear it was in here somewhere. Media following, digital audience. I saw somewhere, maybe it was their website. Was it on truthsocial.com? A social media platform that encourages an open, free, and honest global conversation without discriminating against political ideology. That's not it either. I saw a quote, Well, what I was getting at was I saw a quote where they basically were saying that it was like they wanted to make a website where people could converse without fear of reprisal, was what they said. So it sounded to me like even though they were going to try and make it so that it was all fair and you weren't going to be banned by political ideology and everything, that if you were spreading libel on the platform that you wouldn't be able to, essentially. So it was like if you came in and you were lying about the company or you were attacking people, that they would do something about it. Does that make sense? So it's like they're saying like, it sounds like they're trying to play this line and we'll see how it runs out. But it sounds like they want it to be where anybody can say whatever they want, but you can't harass people on the platform. Makes sense? So that one is kind of interesting too. So would he cancel Democrats from his website? Well, it sounds like that they would say no, but then maybe they would say that they're breaking the rules, and who knows? You bought a mattress for about $250 and it's better than my $1,000 one? Well, you know what? I really like Sleep Number beds, and if you go and buy a Sleep Number bed, be sure to put your name in so that I get the little reward so I can buy a new pillow. They're actually really good beds. I mean, some people probably won't like it, but it's flexible. So if I need the bed to be hard that night, I can make it hard, and if I need it to be soft that night, I can make it soft. There you go. Anyways, maybe it was in on Reddit, so I was trying to read everything that was on Reddit about it. But there was actually a subreddit, DWAC, and Reddit had already banned it. Crazy, right? Oh, you have a purple mattress? So did Win buy a new bed? Is that what's going on? I bought a mattress for the guest bedroom, and once I tested that one, if I like it, then it would keep it for me. It was expensive. If I don't, I will look at the purple next. Oh, I got you. When the company is exposed to be nothing but a big box of hot air, you won't be able to sell fast enough to get out without a loss. I think it's a real possibility, actually. Well, actually, I don't think that it will be exposed that like the company is a whole box of hot air. But what I think you could see, and has happened with SPACs in the past, even though I haven't really followed the SPAC space very carefully, but my understanding is that sometimes they can be structured in a way that's a little exploitative to the people that invest in it. So that's why I was saying, like, I'm not making any claims about this is fairly valued or that it's going to continue to go up or anything. This is purely entertainment. Damn, because 11 viewer Andy. Well, normally when I stream in the morning, because I usually stream really early in the morning, usually we get around 20 to 30 people. I have had streams where we've had 1,000 or more viewers, like back when it was GameStop, we had thousands of viewers. I think that this stream could be one that gets big. You guys hit that like button, and maybe YouTube will pick it up and start sending people our way looking for it, right? We are picking up more viewers as we go along here. I hate having my all of my chat and everything on this far screen over here because I have to turn my head all the way around. But I do want to do some work here. So while we're thinking about that, I am connected here, right? I am. So I'm trying to get a pod working on Kubernetes. So. It will be the new Elizabeth Holmes story. Well, maybe. I'm already up. Well, I don't. I'm going to be careful about showing, but I bought at 18. That's the other. Maybe that's part of why I'm so excited, is because I got such a lucky entry. Like, I'm sure that most technical analysis people will look at this chart and they'll be like, oh yeah, there's a pullback. Yep, you buy the pullback. Easy trade. Really, for me to have said that it was at 18 and gotten filled, and then for it to immediately go up like that is just really effing lucky. That is really effing lucky, I have to say. I don't think I've ever gotten that good of an entry, even on GameStop. On GameStop, I got some good entries. They weren't as good as this one. I really got lucky on it. Can you say I could set a stop, but I'm not going to do that. It's I only put like I only put like 300 in it. So if I lose it, it's fine. It's fine. I'm gonna feel awfully if it doesn't work out, but it's not that much. I suppose that something we could do is put in a stop at the 18 that we got in at, but it's I don't think that it's really worth it doing in stocks. No to moving to Manhattan. I wouldn't. And you know what? I kind of want to go to Manhattan. My wife has never been there. So we need to, that's what we need to do. Maybe, I have some extra time that we need to take off. Maybe I can convince my wife to take the baby with us and go around Manhattan. I don't know. Let's see here. Okay, so it is running. Ooh, interesting. Let's see here. I forget the command that I got to do to get into the pod. Mm-hmm. There it is. Oh, I don't need the dash in. It's already in the namespace. No. I have to do the whole name? Yeah. Oh. Oh, really? Interesting. Does this Docker container just not allow you to do that? Does this Docker container not have bash? So maybe they say something better on the Docker Hub. It doesn't look like it does. Let's see here. I might try to be able to go to another machine and verify what I want, but I don't know. You made $100K today? No, you did not. No, you did. How much did you? Oh, you bought in at $12.75. How much did you buy? I mean, I wish I had more to put into it, but yeah. So the issue is, I bought a few weeks ago. I bought Zillow. So, I've had all this money sitting around. I really should have used that a lot earlier, but I was really looking for a good opportunity. And this most recent market decline finally gave me a place where I felt like I could maybe put some stuff in. Maybe that means I'm putting stuff in at the top, but that's just how I wanted to do it, because I needed to get something that was giving me good value. And so I got it on Zillow, I thought, at least. But then, they went down 10% or whatever that one day. So it was a terrible entry. It's okay. It's recovered mostly, so I think I'm okay over there. But the value of my portfolio has been constant through all of this. So when I looked at it, I was because I like to have 1,000 per stock, and I have some where I've made a ton. I've made a ton on Goldman. So I thought, well, I could sell some Goldman and put that into it. But then I looked at the volatility of it and everything, and I said, nah, for this to be able to get up to 1,000, I don't even need to do that, right? So you absolutely did. Well, good for you then, Pepper. What did you just buy shares in it then? You bought a lot, if that's what you did. Or because there's not options for that, is there? Now I have to go look. Hold on. I'm going to put this because I think if I open up the options, it might show some things that we don't necessarily want to see. So DWAC. No options for it. So you literally just bought everything. I couldn't see it going any lower than 10. Well, so if you bought it at 10 and it's now 30, that means that you put at least 30,000 into it, right? You had a bunch of money to start with. I'm a small fry. I'm not this kind of guy who wants to come out and be like, oh, I'm the biggest trader. Look, I'm spending thousands of dollars. If I was putting thousands of dollars on, I would be hiding it from you guys, right? I don't want you to see that. You bought it at 12 and it's now at what? That seems like you would have to buy in volume. Okay, so it is. Do you see the chart right now? Over here on the right. I can turn it back over now because of the options. It is at. Let's basically pick an even number and say it's at 30. So if he were to have bought at 10 and get 30, but he says that he bought in at 12. So how high do I think it could run up to? Oh man. So just for the day's move, there's no way that we could possibly predict it. So here's how I would go about trying to predict it is I would predict the amount of volume that I would expect to see, and I would look at the liquidity conditions, and then based on the liquidity conditions, there are models that we can use to predict what the impact of those orders would be and what the resulting price would be. But in a situation like this, can you really predict how many orders are going to come in? Really, you can't. And you just go back and look at the GameStop thing. That was super crazy. This is something that the situation is such that it could be almost as crazy, right? You probably get a lot of people trying to short it and stuff too. So on the day, my base case is that this just trends all day. So if I was doing it for a day trade, I would be selling it into the close, but I think that it goes up all day. But I'm going to try and hold it. And so then we get a much more interesting discussion, right? Because they want to become a tech giant, on par with Amazon and Google. Okay. So we're talking about a company that is like a 500 million market cap company right now. And we're talking about something that they could become a 100 billion market cap company in the future. Okay. So yeah, this is a stock that could go up 200 times. That is in the best case scenario. Now, I want to be very clear. I'm not saying that I think it's going to go up or that it's fairly valued or anything like that. And I am doing something here that I normally wouldn't do because I really want to understand the company and the earnings and have a really good thesis for why it's going in. In this particular case, I know that people are going to follow in after me. I don't actually know if this is fairly valued. So it could be the case that something comes out and we find out that the way that the SPAC was structured or the way that things are going, that we're getting absolutely screwed. That's absolutely possible. I need to make sure that that's clear to all of you that what we're doing is actually much more risky than it may appear when you're just looking at this chart. Okay. So I'm not making any predictions, but to me, it's just like, I can't just sit on the sidelines for something like this. Man, it's just too entertaining. No one is even talking about it on social media yet. Wait until the non-traders hear about it, in your opinion? Yeah, I think you might be right. Like, I did not see a whole lot of discussion just about the fact that he was making a company. There wasn't much discussion about it I didn't see it in any of my... So apparently this all happened last night. It wasn't in any of my rundowns, like all of the news and everything that I checked before trading. I didn't see any of that. So I think you're right. Probably the majority of people don't know about it yet. And really the only place where I saw there was active discussion was like the Donald Trump specific forums, like Patriots Win and stuff like that. I am seeing some new names, so thank you for joining us. If you enjoy this content, I stream every morning from 8:20 to 10:30 Eastern time doing futures trading. I don't always make money. I'm not some guru or anything like that, but it's fun. And maybe you don't want to trade because futures trading is very risky. Okay, but you can watch me. You can learn a lot from seeing somebody else do it, and it can really help your investments. You learn a lot about markets, even if you don't want to put that kind of risk on. So make sure you give the video a like. We'll see if we can get up on the YouTube directory today and get a really big stream going. But then make sure you hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel out. And we've been growing really good, but there's so much room for growth in this channel, and I would really like to get to a point where I could really spend more time making more content for you guys. So I really appreciate it. $45 for the 45th president. Oh, yeah, they just got halted again. Yeah, thanks, Lewis. So that's like, is that the second time that they've halted it? I think it's so. Yeah, that's crazy. It's just like the GameStop thing, man. Oh, man. You know what? I'm really not a fan of halts because it does not accomplish, the halt does not accomplish the goal that they have set. I mean, on the downside, I suppose it kind of helps because it does force people to slow down and maybe think about it and everything. But what it also does is it creates an event that affects the liquidity and that everybody tries the game. And so I really do not feel that the halts result in more stable markets, and better market liquidity. It doesn't. People just game it. You watch. When this comes back up online here again, it is going to open above 34. No question. It's going to open above 34. So. I guess I double my money at 32, right? 18 plus 18. Oh, no, 36. 8 plus 8 is 6. Let's do 3. 36. Halts give me time to convince my wife to allow me to purchase more. So tell me, do your significant others, they want to know when you're buying a stock? Because I feel like my wife just doesn't want to know. Like, I think she understands that, like, especially with futures trading, that it's like what we're doing is really very risky and that we should have no expectation that we make money from doing it. And, if I had a really big winner or a really big loser, she doesn't really care. I mean, if maybe I had made a trade where I made like $100,000 in one day, like apparently one of our friends here on the stream did, then maybe she would care and want to know what we're, but I feel like she just doesn't want to know. here's what you do. You call her and tell her you want to bring home 2 ferrets. And when she says no, then you just say, okay, well, instead I'll just buy this stock. Oh, there. So when are you really, you're not going to buy more ferrets? I try to talk about it. No one cares. It really is. I tell you what, it's really interesting to me. I think, you want to hear my conspiracy theory? Here's my conspiracy theory. They intentionally make finance boring. They intentionally make finance boring, and the more useful it is, the more boring and not useful they try and make it appear. Because the most interesting and useful things that I found in trading were like research studies with really heavy math and stuff that was really hard to understand. And I felt like that the authors very often understate the significance of their findings. It's really something else. It's like if there's like a real serious edge to it, they don't want everybody to know. They try and make it boring. And if the stock loses, you can always claim the 2 ferrets would have just probably died anyways. No, Julia was my last. They're tiny cancer machines, and while they live, they're adorable. But at the 6-year mark, they develop a cancer of some. Oh, that's so sad. That's why I stopped getting parakeets. I couldn't handle it. You see? What did I tell you? I guarantee you will open above 34. Woo, okay, 36, so now I'm double. I shouldn't focus so much on that, but I can't. I was like, that's a good trade. I think the most I've ever made. Yeah, no, the most I've ever made on a single day trade was 500. So if we get over 500, then this is my best trade ever, right? And then I'm going to go and I'm going to show my wife, and she's going to be like, well, you should start trading stocks every day instead of futures. Of course they do. We got to break down that wall. Well, the unfortunate truth is that some of the things that are the most useful to you are kind of boring. But, like for stocks here, I'm excited to have earnings and to be able to go down through the balance sheet and look at it and like try to make future valuations of the company. Like that's what you want to do. Value the future cash flows and stuff. That's how you do it. And then you kind of make certain assumptions about, I think this number is going to go to this. And that's how you like get price targets, right? That's boring. It's just this spreadsheet stuff. Not everybody's into it. In futures, like my expertise is really in market microstructure and the mathematical models behind how a limit order book works. Most people aren't interested in it. This is going to be everybody's best trade. It could be. I don't know. There was some people when the GameStop thing was going on. I knew some people that made some mondo money off of that, and they were in options too. I don't know like how it completely ended for them, because I'm sure that they would have gotten in when it fell down a bit. Because I did. I made I think I made $300 on GameStop, and then I lost 100 or something on it. Because in the end, I only made like $240 or something off of it. And then I stopped messing with it because I was like, well, because my portfolio is not big enough to be exempt from the day trade rule. Not my stock portfolio. So, when I got it, I was like, well, I'm just going to leave it alone now because I don't want to have to, if I got a loss and then I try day trading back the losses, I don't want to have to deal with this stupid wash trade rules. They really need to get rid of those. You got to switch up. Yeah, you can go. I have like a bunch of stuff in the video description, like the news squawk that I use, the software they use, all of those things. And if you're interested in doing futures trading, futures trading isn't for everybody. I'm sure that a lot of people that will come in and are doing this, they're not necessarily going to be interested in futures trading. My channel is not only about that. The stream that's what we're doing, but the stuff that I post is going to be useful to anybody that's trading, and we'll be getting into investing and stuff in the future too. So, you might not be interested in all the links in the video description, but if you appreciate this content and you want to help me out, the best thing that you can do is click that subscribe button, all right? And then if you do want to come and visit us on the stream, make sure you click the bell icon, because that's the easiest way to find us in the morning, is if you get the notification when we go live. Forget the wash rules. If one trade can have you go into retirement, yeah. Well, you know, as amazing as this investment may end up being, I'm not going to be able to retire just on this. Probably not. No, because again, we're talking about something that maybe someday will be worth 200 billion. You know, like. Well, let's go and game it out. Let's game it out. Okay. We got to go to Utah. We got to go to Yahoo. Yeah, I got to throw some more out. I got to go and sell some Goldman to buy more, huh? Okay, so here's the company. All right, so there are how many shares are there? Oh, I swear that it was over on this one. Maybe not. Must be, I need to go to, is it statistics? Nah. Share statistics. Shares outstanding 28.75 million. So, if we were to value this as 100,000 million billion, right? 100,000 million billion. Oh, one more zero. If this was $100 billion company, and there was still 35,940. Okay, there was still 35 million shares, right? Then the company would be worth $2,782. So for me, that would be, I own 18 shares. So it could make me 50,000. It would be a really big increase to my portfolio, but I'm not going to retire off of it, right? Well, Charlie, thank you very much. Oh, I really appreciate it. You guys, you don't have to donate, but you know, if you really, really want to, I love it. So thank you so much. I just like, you know, when we had the GameStop thing, we had a lot of people come in, but then when I was like, okay, like, the game is over, everybody just kind of left, and I was like, oh God, because I really want to, you know, help people. Like the way that we go with this is we're working together and we're trying to find edge, right? And we can talk about that later if you guys really want. What was your buying? I bought at 18. I bought 18 at 18. So it was like what, $320 or something like that? Now they're approaching 40. Are they going to like go up to $50 or $100 today? Like this could get really crazy great. But if I can just get my value of it to, so if I want $1,000, what am I getting? 1,000 divided by 18. So yeah. So if we could close the day above 55, I would be super happy with it. And that would be appropriate for what I try and do with my portfolio. Like in terms of like the asset mix that I want. So social media hasn't even heard of it yet. Wait till that happens. Yeah, so let's check here. I do have a TikTok, by the way. Another thing is that you might be more entertained by my content on TikTok. So let's see here. I do have a couple of notifications coming in. Yeah, so there's already some comments on it, but not a ton. Only like 3 likes on my TikTok video. and 67 views. So it doesn't look to me like it is a trending topic on social media. Now it could I wouldn't doubt if that sort of stuff gets throttled over there, but bro, I just want to help you all, to be honest. Oh, thanks so much. But like, here's the thing. I mean, oh, let me close this. News Squawk was just saying something in my head about the reconciliation bill. Look at that dollar. Did not like that. It wasn't too big of a hit to the S&P 500 though, so shouldn't worry about when does it trend, bro. Well, we're getting close. We're up at 34 views, so we're kind of getting to the point where like this could blow up. If you guys keep hitting that like button, if we could get to like 20 likes, then for sure we're going to be like, and you know what, when you guys donate, that also makes a big difference. When you donate, that boosts the stream as well. So but no, you know, again, if you want to help, the best thing that you can do is just give the video a like. Because here's the thing, like somebody could come in today. What if somebody came in on the stream and gave me $1 million? Okay. Like that would be awesome. I would be set for life at that point. It would be $1 million, right? Okay. I think that would probably be the worst thing that could possibly happen to me. To be honest with you, I think it would be possibly the worst thing that could happen to me. Not because I would like be irresponsible with it or something like that. I mean, have you heard those stories about like they give a homeless person $1 million and they blow it within a week? Like, what? No. I mean, if I got $1 million, I would probably pay off the house so that I don't have as much monthly expenses, so that I can take more risks on things like the YouTube channel and stuff like that. And then I would invest the rest of it. You know, so, but I would be bored. You know, it would be like, oh, okay, I already made it. Now what am I going to do? You know, like it would rob me of the experience of the journey of trying to make it. You know what I mean? So I don't like people necessarily to just, you know, I mean, a small donation is great. And but what I would much rather you do is you keep watching, you like the video so that it will get more views and, you know, the channel will pick up and we'll get more subscribers. Or you can pay for some of the services. So like in the link in the video description, I have a couple of the affiliate links that I do, which if you like to do futures trading, it can be really, really useful. I don't know so much for stocks or investors, but you know, like we do day trading here mostly. And I also have some indicators for NinjaTrader 8 that I sell, which I'm not promising that those are going to like make you rich or anything like that, but those are what I use and I find them to be very useful. So, you know, if you are going to give me money, I would prefer that you give me money because of a service that I gave you, right? That you really got something out of it. I mean, I suppose it's totally legit to say that you're entertained by the stream and it's worth donating to. I mean, that's fair, but I feel like you could get something back out of it, right? So, nah, you'd be irresponsible with it. Don't cap, G. No, the thing is, I know exactly what I would want to do. And when I have things pre-thought like that, I am so stubborn about it. Like that is really actually one of the problems that I have with stocks. So like here in the instance with this, okay, if this was all of the sudden to just get absolutely demolished and suddenly price was at $16, right? I think most people would be like, well, something's wrong and you get out. I would hold probably. I said if it goes to zero, it's going to, you know, I'm gonna hold to that. I'm super stubborn. I'm too stubborn. This is long term for me. I think so. I really think that the play is long term. I can't think of a situation ever. I really, did they just get halted again? Yes, they did. Oh my gosh. Is that like the 4th or 5th halt? Oh my gosh. Man, no, I don't think I've ever seen a situation where it was just like something came out that one day, and you know that the top line estimate for it is that it's going to be one of the biggest companies in the world. I think the only situation I've ever seen something similar like this was Tesla. Like Tesla, for years and years ago, that came out, and that was a stock that people knew about back then. But I don't think that Tesla would have even remotely the same kind of hype as like this does, you know? So, geez. I don't know. I had a friend that he bought into Tesla very, very early. And I don't know how much money he put into it, but he was basically a millionaire because of Tesla. He was basically a millionaire because of Tesla and could do whatever he wanted. And then he would like sell some of it and reinvest it later and stuff. He was actually crazy good at it. Oh, so you think it's going to be a 3-handle stock? There you go. Well, so isn't the big metric the one that you want a 20 bagger, right? A 20 bagger is the one that's like the big winners. That's what they end up being, is 20 baggers. We could get a 20 bagger out of this, right? Let's just say, for the sake of math, that I bought in at 20 instead of 18, right? So if I bought in at 20 and it was a 20 bagger, that would mean that we'd have to get up to like 800, right? That's a super interesting name that you got, Jordan Peterson, but the middle name Israel. That's a little... I never understood. Like, I like some of Jordan Peterson's stuff. I'm not gonna say that everything that he says I think is gold or anything, but it's really weird to me that there's like a whole culture around Jordan Peterson, and there's like a group of people online that really, really like him, and a group of people that really, really don't like him. And I'm just like, he's a psychologist that gets interviewed a lot. Like, why people shouldn't care so much? It's really bizarre to me. What's the price predictions for the long period? Well, we were saying that if this really, really turned like the best case scenario, like 2000, but I'm not going to try and make a prediction. Okay. I think, and I'm just guessing. No, I'm not just guessing. I shouldn't say that. Listen, here's the thing. I'm really conscious about being responsible with what I tell you. Okay. Not only because I don't want people to go and taking risks that are maybe not appropriate for them based off of something that I said, but I really hate this game that people play where they buy something and then they turn around and they just try and pump it up. And there was a lot of people doing that, especially in the GameStop thing, where it was like when the trade was over, when the stop run had basically already passed, people were still trying to pump it. And they were saying a lot of things that were just false, frankly, during that time too. So I hate that. So that's why I'm kind of being a little iffy about this, right? So I don't want to give you guys any impression that I know what price it's going to get to and that you should be looking for that price, because I have no way of valuing this. I can't go through and look at their balance sheet and all these things. All I know is that it's likely that we'll continue to see more buy orders coming through on this thing and that it will continue to move up. And how far it's going, I really can't value it because I don't know how many orders are going to come in. It looks like we're early. It looks like social media really hasn't picked up on it yet, right? So when I'm throwing these numbers out there, just be really aware that I'm not saying like you should be using these numbers in your investing strategy, okay? The numbers I'm looking at is, one, if we get up to 55, then that's where my investment becomes a large enough portion of my portfolio that it's equal to, because I would have liked to have put 1,000 in to begin with, but that's what happens. It's okay. Then the next thing, so I think that the 50s is like probably a pretty important price for today. No. And then you kind of have to start looking at it from a market cap perspective. So like I was saying, like if we were to become $100 billion company, that would be a company on the same kind of scale as, say, Amazon. That's like the best case scenario. Then you'd be like $2,000, right? So that kind of gives you an idea. Like it's a really, really big winner. You probably get a really big winner. It's not necessarily life-changing unless you put a ton into it and took a really excessive risk. Okay, so they started up again And of course they start higher, but there was somebody did sell. But I wish I could watch the order flow on this, but I was watching it since the open, but I didn't pull the trigger. Really? Wow, you put it in 3K. See, I only put it in $300. I only put like 320, but that was because I really just didn't want to sell my other stocks. Maybe that was the wrong choice, huh? I should have sold some Goldman and put 1,000 in, and then I'd be up $3,000 right now. So parabolic. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so you want to learn something crazy? This is, well, we got 40 people. Can I tell you guys this sort of thing with 40 people? Because I'm always telling my stream, well, we talked about it this morning on stream. Okay, I'm going to tell you something, okay, that I don't necessarily want everybody to know, okay? I'm going to teach you a really significant edge that is very much in my wheelhouse. These are the sorts of things that I study, okay? Market microstructure. Now, it's okay. It's not like sharing it with you is going to make it disappear, because the edge that I'm going to talk about is structural in nature. That means that no matter how many people know about it, it's always going to happen, okay? But it's such a key edge to me that, like, I kind of like that we're the only ones that talk about it, okay? So what happens is the way that we explain it is there's something called a Walrusian auction. So the way that a Walrusian auction works, this is kind of like what they do in Taiwan. You guys ever heard about the Taiwan stock market? So in the Taiwan stock market, there's not market orders and limit orders. There's only limit orders. And so essentially what they do is you put your limit order in and you decide what price you want. And then at the top of the minute, every minute, they do the auction. So everybody puts their orders in and then they match up with each other, right? So you get some people. So let's just say that it's random, right? You get some people that will decide to sell, and you get some people that will decide to buy, right? And there will be some people that their price is so low that they don't get filled, and their price is so high that they don't get filled. But then there will be these people here in the middle that do get filled because they matched up with other orders, right? Okay. So those people get filled. So now what happens next time we do that? These guys are still there. These guys are still there. Oops, let me try that a little better. These guys are still there, right? But all of these guys in the middle, well, they got filled. So maybe new orders come in and they fill that in, right? But in a minute, is it really going to be that much, right? So there's going to be less, or there probably will still be orders in here, but they're going to be a lot less than what there was before, right? And so what it results in is it results in a hole, a liquidity hole, an area where people don't want to put liquidity out. The market makers, they're like afraid of taking fills in that location because it's just going to be all over the place, right? So when that happens, this is where you kind of get these little pullbacks. So like right here, right? There's probably a liquidity hole right there. Okay. And what often causes the liquidity holes is a really large transaction. So if you see like a really big order go through or just a lot of volume traded there in that spot, it tends to create a hole that they will fall back into. And then depending on if it's not a trending day, then they might just stay in that spot for a long time. This happens in the treasuries all the time. In fact, I could show you over here a really great example today in the 10-year treasury. Here's the 10-year treasury. Okay, I took a trade. I went short up in here. It was actually long on micros, but don't worry about that. I basically went short. And then down in here, there was a massive order. It was like 6,000 contracts in the 5-year. And they traded that. And then after that happened, it happened right here. After that happened, they went sideways, but like never really got anywhere after that. And then they moved all the way back up. Now it looks like since I stopped trading that they've pushed back down again. But that's the sort of thing that a liquidity hole does. Like when it's in the treasury, look, so literally they just trade those 2 ticks for like 45 minutes to 90 minutes. And that's about how long it takes for the liquidity to recover. So how does that apply to here. So when you were saying it's parabolic, well, the thing that you're going to want to watch for is when they make a hole, when they make a liquidity hole, and they might come back. But here in this situation, people are just going to want to buy it, right? And most of the people that buy it, they're not going to know about the liquidity holes. They're not going to know about how that affects whether you should buy or sell in that area, because you don't necessarily want to get in at the liquidity hole, right? You're getting a fair price. You're more likely to get like a fair price, but it's also likely to not go anywhere or even go against you, as opposed to like when it's breaking out or you have a spot where you know that based on related assets and so forth that it's probably not likely to tick into there, right? Well, there's $50. Holy shnikes. This is just getting insane. They're making stocks gear again. That's what's happening. They're flocking to it because they know it's going to replace Facebook. It really is. That is actually so interesting. I appreciate it. I'm telling you, I just taught you something super hardcore. Like, you've never been on Reddit and read that, right? But now that you know it, aren't you kind of sitting there going like, how have I never heard this before? So they want it to be a secret. And by the way, here's another thing. In trading, most content that you see about trading out there on the internet is based on like, okay, I read a book about technical analysis and then I started trading it and I had success. So now I'm turning around and telling you what I did so that you can have success too. Don't listen to those people. They're full of shit. They just want you to buy stuff. And the chances are that they're lucky. They could be lucky. I mean, heck, man, on this thing, maybe I just got lucky. How did I get 18? I got in at 18. How did I do that? I really think that it was luck. Okay. Just, like I know all that stuff. I did see that there was like a hole and that there was going to pull back there, but did I know that they weren't going to go back to 15? I didn't know that. I was lucky. Okay. But this thing that I'm telling you about Walrusian auctions, this is a mathematician went and set up a model and said, here's what should happen based off of what we know about how the market, actually the structure of the market. This is what should happen based on the structure of the market. And then they went back and they said, okay, is there things that we can look at that support this theory that you have about this is how the market works? And then would they go and observe the actual market and they find things that say, yes, actually, that probably is what happened. We can see that the liquidity holes form. We can see that it affects it's a big part of the impact of meta orders, which I don't want to burden you with right now, but like there's a lot of empirical evidence to back up what I'm talking about, right? So which makes it even more insane that retail traders don't know. But those are the sorts of things that I try and go for, is like, can I empirically show to you that this is a thing? There are some edges. They're not going to guarantee you success, even all these things. Is still effing hard to trade, man. Day trade, just, you know what? If you're looking for like a new job, don't day trade. Go get a tech job. Go to Code Camp. Go to the Code Camp if that's you. You're looking for a new job. You want to like improve your life, and I'm saying something to you, telling you to do something that's going to change your life forever, and you go and you do it. This is the thing that you should listen to, right? Go to a Code Camp. Go to find in your area somewhere. There's a Code Camp. You like for a month. You'll learn how to code and then come out and try and apply it to work for Donald Trump's new company. That's where the money is in this economy, man. I'm telling you, it's so easy to make money in tech. It's insane how much money there is in tech. And if you can program, even if you're not super good at it or you're just brand new, that's the money. Now we are okay. So they're having a little bit of a hard time staying above 50. Does look like there are some sellers. That was a really big candle right there. That is a crazy big candle. Now, are we seeing the S&P 500 do anything here? No, they're still just chilling at 45.27. That's interesting. Let's see here. Shane says, I found out about it because of Telegram and jumped in as soon as I saw the IPO name. Well, I did a little bit of research and stuff, but even there, I mean, for a second there were 50, right? Even after they, okay, so did they just halt it again on the downside? Ooh. Now, so here's another thing. Can I tell you? In relation to that liquidity hole, is that because of the liquidity hole, if you were to get an order that was of equal and opposite size, so like say we got all these guys and they're buying it up here, right? And let's just say for simple numbers that like we buy 1,000 shares, right? We leave a wake behind us in the liquidity. So if somebody else turns around and decides to sell 1,000 orders, it will move it down further. It will move it down further than we had just moved it up. So I'm seeing a move like that. That might be part of what's going on there. It's entirely possible that it just, that a lot of these gains are lost and we come back to 32 at some point, but I'm not too worried about it. Not too worried about it. Yeah, Spy DeMark says that it was halted indeed. So maybe people are taking their profit. It could be. So the problem is that because it's a stock. If it was futures, I get all of these metrics here. Do you see these little DOMs over here to the left? That is the level 2. That is like the full order book in the S&P 500 futures. So when there's a move over there, I have a really good idea of why it happened, right? Over here, yes, there's another thing I'm talking about, like most gurus are full of crap. Well, you really can't know 100% what's going on only looking at price. I don't know if market makers just decided not to, they pulled all of their orders and it moved through there really quickly, or if a really, really large market sell order came through. Could be somebody taking profits. I don't know. It's too hard for me to tell without having a DOM on it. You had a position at 30 and then sold like a chump? Why? There's a question. What's your thesis? I don't know. It can be like if you're a day trader and you just say, I want to make double my money and you may do it, then that's fine. If that's like your setup, right? But for me, I think that this is either going to be a tremendous success or a catastrophic failure. That means that this stock is either going to go up to like $100, a couple $100, or is going to go to zero. And that to me is a really attractive risk reward ratio, especially when I know that I can get in and there's going to be so many people that are going to want to buy it when they find out what's going on, right? Because most people don't know that Donald Trump is starting a social media network yet. Can't trade, won't trade, GameStop style. There you go. So yeah, I could totally see wanting to take profits, but if your thesis is that Donald Trump is starting a social media company and it's going to take on Facebook and Twitter and it's going to replace them and it's going to be the best social media network ever. And I'm not saying that it is. I mean, that's awfully speculative. But if that's your thesis, why would you sell it? You're up, you want to let it ride, right? Well, when it gets going up again here, I'm going to be interested to see what the liquidity does, because it definitely looks like we're in a position where the market makers are probably really wary about taking fills. Certainly on the sell side. We'll see about on the buy side. How far does it open down below and do they push it through? So my stop loss is 0. If it goes to 0, then and the company goes bankrupt, then I will be out of the stock. No, my stop loss is 3. It's, I put in $300. That's my stop loss. Or never tell me the odds there. Here's the thing with stops, because everybody always tells you gotta have a stop. Listen, if you're trading S&P 500 futures, you better have a stop loss. Okay? Just telling you right now, I've seen moves over there in the S&P 500 futures that are like $1,000 in a second, even if you were trading the smallest amount that you possibly could. Some of those days during the pandemic, it was insane. All of the brokers like increased the margin requirements. I like just straight up didn't trade it. They wouldn't have let me trade it. I didn't want to. I was like, this, you just get screwed in this action. Okay. You have to have a stop because the risk is so high, and you can lose more than you put in futures. Okay. But in stocks, I feel that if you're taking big risks anyways. Okay. So they didn't really actually get very much downside from that at all. Okay. In one of these, I feel like that if you really need to set a stop loss on your stock, that you're probably taking on too much risk. Right. So I like to just do long-term investments. I have a fifth of my portfolio in the stocks. So I get like 5 stocks, fifth of it in each stock. And, like for instance, I bought Zillow. It went down 10% against me. No big deal. Like the amount that I make on my other stocks that are doing well cancels that out. And the portfolio continues to do well, right? And if it was like that 10% was so much that it was like really devastating to my portfolio, then that means that I shouldn't have bought as much of that company. I should have said, this is a really high beta company that moves a lot, and so I shouldn't invest as much into it. I'm here from AMC to share some rockets. There you go. This could pay for your kids' college. It really could. You're really right, Lewis. I don't know. Like I said, I like the prospect of one trade. You make it off of one trade doesn't really excite me too much. Like if I ended up making $1 million off of this trade, it wouldn't. That doesn't excite me that much. You know what excites me is like when the channel is doing really well, when you guys are doing really well, when you guys have told me, I took the stuff that I learned from you and I've made a lot of money this week. I mean, because I can't guarantee that anything I teach is, even if with everything that I know, it's hard. I still struggle. Okay. I don't always make money. I should be very clear about that. Okay. But when I see that you guys are doing well, that's what excites me. When the YouTube channel is doing well, I get more new subscribers. So yeah, if we came off of this stream and I got, 50, 100 subscribers off of it, that would make me excited, right? One stock going off, there'd be another one tomorrow. And maybe I lose as much on it tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. It is a special opportunity, though. I guess I shouldn't discount that part. I really don't think we're ever going to see a situation where it's like the birth of a new large cap tech company in one day. Like that's insane. Like that's really what, if this works out, like I said, it's either a tremendous success or a dismal failure. But if this works out, then that means that today we are witnessing the birth of a new large cap tech company that will rival Facebook, Amazon, Google, Apple, etc. That's a big deal. Okay, so what do you use to trade? Well, so the chart that you're seeing right now is Fidelity. I don't trade on my Fidelity account. I wouldn't even say I swing. I've bought some, I've taken a few swing trades. Like I did play GameStop. I made a little bit on GameStop, nothing crazy on GameStop. But I tend not to want to day trade with it. It's not a large enough account that I'd be exempt from the day trade rules. So mostly I just manage a portfolio over there. I do stream every day from 8:20 to 10:30 Eastern time or so. And during that time, I trade futures. So a lot of the time, I will just trade sim orders. And hey, if you're starting out, don't be shy about trading sim orders because sometimes it's just not worth taking the risk. And some of these things that I want to trade, it's like, I really don't want to put on that much risk, but I'll still trade at sim. So usually I'll do like micro treasury futures, which you're really only risking a few dollars at a time. Here, I'll minimize it so you can see. So these micro treasury futures, like one tick is $1. So I took a really good trade and made $15 today in the micro treasury futures, and you don't have to put a lot of margin. So if you're interested in getting in futures, like that's a really good place to start. And then, I'll trade the ES, usually sim orders over in ES. So I use Fidelity for my stocks. But when I do the futures trading, all of these DOMs, depth of markets that you can see, this is showing me like all of the limit orders that are on the book in the exchange. This is Jigsaw Day Trader. So I have an affiliate link in the video description. I think it's like $500 or something like that. And then if you want to execute on the DOM, there's a $50 subscription license each month that I pay. It's worth it. Oh man, being able to execute on the DOM is everything. I don't know how people trade without a DOM. When I have to come over here into Fidelity and go and put an order in, man, I can't stand that. I just want to be able to click the price. But yeah, I trade on the DOM. So I have an affiliate link in the video description. If you end up buying Jigsaw and you buy it through that affiliate link, it helps me out a lot. And then I also use NinjaTrader 8 for charts, which I kind of have my thing over here so you can't really see it. But see these charts down in the lower left corner? Those are like my NinjaTrader charts. So I use that. And I have a lot of custom indicators that I've written myself. You can look at what they are at speculatorset.com, and we have like a $10 subscription so you can use my indicators if you choose. They're not going to promise that they're going to bring any edge to you or any, but I can't trade without them, so I find them useful, especially this dollar index, man. How do people, I still don't understand this. How do people trade, especially if you're like trading like oil or gold or something like that? How do you trade that without knowing what the value of the currency that you're trading is doing at that moment, right? Dollar index, super important. So that's one of my indicators I have. Anyways, I got all that in the video description. And then the other big one that you might want to look at is financial juice. So I'm a really big believer in informed trading, which means that it's really hard, if not impossible, to make money just watching what everybody else is doing and trying to find technical patterns and charts and things. The research that people have done at universities and everything suggests that the market is very statistically efficient, but it's not very informationally efficient because there's these huge funds out there rebalancing and doing all these things all the time, and that creates moves that take us very far away from like what true value actually would be. So the best edge is knowing what's going on. So understanding the news and hearing about breaking news is very, very, very important if you want to be successful at day trading. And it used to be that having, most retail traders just wouldn't bother doing it because having a good news squawk is just too expensive. Like a Bloomberg terminal is thousands of dollars a month. And then you can take a step down like news squawk, and that's still like $300, $500 a month. It's just not practical for most retail traders. But financial juice is $70 a month. So it's a great deal, and you can. They have a deal where you can pay them $1,000 up front for a lifetime membership, which is what I have. It was $700 when I did it, but now I think you can do it for $1,000. So worth it. News Squawk, so important. So I also have an affiliate link for that in the video description. Let's see here. My wife told me she would let me get 3 ferrets if I cash out of it now at this very moment. No, you heard what Wynn said, right? You be careful. You be careful with the ferrets because they get cancer. Sorry, I'm looking all the way over here, but I have my chat over here, but I'm got something else going on over at work over here that I'm want to keep an eye on, so I have you guys over on this other monitor. Oh yeah, let's pull up Fidelity here again. Okay, so they did move up. They did make a new high, and I am seeing a little bit of selling here. We still got 2 hours though, so there could still be, I don't know. I certainly there must be some people saying like 50 is a good target, so. Captain Price, you aren't rational. You will lose control and flip over. I'm being honest. Listen, day trading is hard, guys. Futures, what I do in my morning stream, futures trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not for all investors. It really takes the right kind of person for it, right? Like you have to have the right interests and the right kind of thinking and, things. A lot of people want to come in and just make easy money. It's never easy money. I suppose this is easy money, but you're not gonna have these every day. This is a once in a lifetime sort of a trade, isn't it? And who knows? It may still close down at like $16 today. That could happen. That could totally happen. Don't be live streaming this if you're so anxious. Am I anxious? Do I seem anxious? Because I feel like overly stimulated. Like I am just like I'm just excited to be able to watch it. Or honestly, I'm super excited just to be able to watch it. So I may seem a little bit anxious to you, Captain Bryce, because for one, normally in the morning I'm on my Adderall. So I'm quite a bit more controlled. So that might be part of what you're seeing, is that I'm not masking as well now. You can see how excited I am. I'm also really hungry. So I might even be a little shaky because my blood sugar is probably not that I have diabetes problems or anything, but it is getting time for me to eat. So that might also get me a little bit shaky. But in my mind, and sometimes I'm not very aware of where my emotions are for sure. Yeah, you know that. But in my mind, I have absolutely when it was GameStop, I was kind of nervous. Like when it came back, like I didn't want to lose all those profits and stuff on this one. It's like, heck no. Like I got in at a good spot. I was able to run for me, and it's something that I want to keep in the long term. So I don't need to be nervous. I suppose that maybe I would start feeling differently if all of a sudden we were below $18, but below my cost basis. But that's super unlikely. Press pause. Well, I do want to keep this going, but I should probably go and get some food, huh? How are we doing, by the way? Like, on people? Oh, I got about 50 people. Well, thank you guys very much. And thank you again for clicking the like button. That really helps the channel out. So it's more of the way you speak, what you think. Yeah, well, I do that. But am I saying things that I'm like nervous that it's going to fall back down? I'm more nervous. If there's anything I'm nervous about, I'm nervous that I would say something that would cause a person to make a poor decision. You know what I mean? How long do you plan to hold DWAC? Until the day I die. Probably. I think it's a long-term trade. Of course, if new information comes out that changes the trade, turns out that it's not really what we thought it was, there's something wrong with the way that this SPAC is structured, something like that, then I would have to readjust my opinion at that time. But with the way that it is right now, again, this is either going to be a tremendous success or a catastrophic failure, and I just want to be along for the ride. And it's entertainment. To me, it's entertainment. It's like if I lose $300 on it, then I lose $300 on it, and that will be fine. I can absorb that loss, and I think it would be money well spent. Quite frankly, with just meeting you guys, because some of you guys, you've asked some good questions, and I just love meeting new people. Oh man, I used to do the Tinder thing. And I was like meeting new girls like 3 times a week. That was so much fun. By the end of it, I was a little bit tired, but that was because a lot of things had changed for me by that point. But the people part never changed. I love the variety. I need that's one of the things I'm missing in my life often is like novelty, and new people coming into the stream. I love that. And I think that just, we have 44 people here. 27 likes, even if I lost it all, it was money well spent. Thank you guys very much for being here. Let's see here. Tired of big tech? I'd rather watch my money burn and rest easy at night knowing I helped contribute to change. Oh, you know what, Thomas? I totally agree with you. Like, don't get me wrong. I mean, I voted for Donald Trump I've generally been a big fan of him. I think he's done a lot of crazy things. I was really not happy with the whole January 6th thing. Not that I thought that it was, oh man, some people treat it like it was an insurrection. I don't really see it like that. But I was always like, why are you doing this? Is just a bad idea, because you're throwing a Hail Mary, essentially. You're saying that something's going to happen, and I don't know if it's actually going to happen, so I don't always just go along with everything that he says, right? And yeah, he could like totally mismanage it, and it could fail because he makes a poor decision or something. That's a real possibility here in something like this. But I think generally speaking, his heart is in the right spot, and I agree with you. The tech companies, every single one of them have done things that I disagree with vehemently. I think the one that I despise the most is Twitter. That place is just so awful. Every time that I get into a conversation, you can follow me on Twitter at SpeculatorSeth. I'm on all of them. I have a TikTok. Subscribe to the TikTok. That's probably my favorite right now. But man, anytime that I get drug into a conversation on Twitter, I hate it because people just say the dumbest stuff. And then it's like there's certain things that you just like straight up can't say or they'll ban you. It's absolutely ridiculous what they do on Twitter. So I would very much like to see a competitor that was based on freedom of speech grounds and things like that. I would hope. When is the app releasing? I don't think we actually know. Are we comparing us to your Tinder dates? Oh, no, DC. None of my Tinder dates match up to you. Not even close. Why is a run on the DWAC dangerous? I wouldn't say that it's dangerous. I mean, listen, you got to understand that because of how much it's moving, market makers are going to be really weary about taking fills, because if you put a limit order out there and you get filled, like there's a really good chance it goes against you. That's why, again, I got in at $18. I think I got really lucky because when I put that out there, I was like, well, yeah, but this could come all the way back to 15, I got really lucky, and it did go against me a little bit at the first. So you're probably going to see these big swings up and down just because of the lack of liquidity. Okay. When there's not a lot of liquidity, that means that your one order has even more impact than it normally does, right? You're extremely wholesome. Oh, thank you so much. I have no idea how you only have the amount of subs that you have right now. Well, I think I do, because what I do is futures trading. Most people, when they're interested in finance, they do stocks. They don't do futures, and they come to my channel. And even though like my one-off videos are, I think, generally applicable to everything, it really, really was meant to appeal to futures trading. I'm like, I believe it or not, 6 to 7K is actually a significant portion of the retail futures trading audience. So I've done really, really well with futures trading. I've always been looking for opportunities. Like we got involved with the GameStop thing a little bit. But the problem with the GameStop thing was that after we found out that the number that shorts had covered and the shorts numbers went down, to me, it's like the best trade is usually the first trade. It's even with the case with this one. I doubt that I will ever get as good or as easy of an entry than the $18 one that I got today. The best trade is always the first trade. Okay. So in GameStop, when the first trade was over, everybody wanted to turn it into a cult or something. And I was like, oh, no. Like these guys, they covered. It's coming down for a reason, and especially when like Robinhood can just like stop you from buying it and just watch it go down all day. Like that was just it made me so mad watching that day. And I got out that day, and then it just kept going and going. I was like, oh my gosh, how can they be allowed to do this? Made me so mad. But there was a bunch of people that even to this day, they're like, oh yeah, GameStop is still going to go to $1,000. And I'm just kind of like, let's do something else, guys. So I didn't we had a little bit of activity come into the channel because of that, and then it died down really quick because I didn't want to be the cult. Robinhood is not going to last. They're in big trouble. I hope not. I was never a fan of Robinhood. I remember the day that Robinhood was announced. Like I remember seeing the things about it on Reddit. And I read how they were doing it, and I was like, no, I don't want any part of that. That's it's taking advantage of them. But whatever. Shorts haven't covered with AMC. I don't know. I haven't looked at it recently. I think that AMC has a better long-term case than GameStop does, if I'm honest. I want to go and see a video. Actually, I should probably go and see if I can get tickets tomorrow. Or maybe the weekend, and go and see the Dune. Oh, I want to go and see Dune. Yes, that looks so good. It's probably not as good as I expect it to be, but it looks good. I haven't been to a movie theater in a long time, and I hope at some point. I would be really disappointed if they just stop making movie theater blockbusters and it's all Netflix series like Squid Game now. Although Squid Game is amazing too. Yeah. I think that in the long run, the AMC should have a solid business. GameStop, on the other hand, I'm not so sure that they do. They were having problems before the pandemic, and they're rebuilding the business, so that's good. But we don't actually know if that's going to work out. You know what I mean? So probably AMC, it is a better long-term play, but who knows? Apes holds that we know is market manipulation. Yeah, wow. That was the thing, is the thing that really irked me was that day that they lost so much on GameStop, and because people weren't allowed on Robinhood to even buy it. All of the brokers had basically prevented you from buying it. Okay, that's awful. But then everybody was saying, oh no, this is like wash trading, yada 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 stuff. And I was like, no, that's not how it works. If you're a market maker and you're offering buy-side liquidity out there, okay, and you just had a stock that moved up like that, it's coming back down. You don't want to take fills either way. You just want to be out, because the probability of an excursion of price going against you is just too high. You're not going to be able to catch the right spot. There's too much risk. And so you just don't put the liquidity out there. And that means that when people are out there selling, because in that particular case, I think that Robinhood was doing the margin calls and everything. You could see it. I'll tell you, around 2:30 Eastern time is when the margin calls go out. And when you see stocks declining at that time, that's the bad sign, right? That's what happened, is that there was margin calls and nobody could do anything about it. It wasn't wash trading. It was because when Robinhood halted trading on it, that was the signal to get out on GameStop. I didn't realize it at the time. I really should have, but I didn't realize it at the time. That was the signal to get out on that one, right? Okay, what type of charts are those on your screen? How do you work, and why do you use those? Okay, so good question. I covered this a little bit earlier, but I'm trying to go into more detail on it. So what you're seeing here on the main screen is just a chart of DWAC. It's just a candlestick chart. And the only reason that I have it up there is for you guys, because I know that's what people want to look at. That's what people identify with as a chart. I don't trade that way. Don't trade that way at all. When I trade, where's my mouse? This is what my screen looks like usually. So this is a depth of market. Every one of these rows is an individual price, and the blue column are limit buy orders, and the orange red column is limit sell orders. And then the columns in the middle are market orders hitting up against them. So, last time that we traded up here at 130.08 half in the 10-year treasury, 7,298 contracts went through, right? And I do all of my trading from that. And then when you come in here, I'll show you, if I click right here, that would put a limit order at that price. That would put a limit sell order at that price. Or I could click on the current price. I could click into 060, There's not very many contracts on there, so I could buy it on the expectation that it's going to tick up. And then hopefully I will have, at least one tick in favor so I can scratch if I want to. That's generally how I trade. So I traded with futures. These days I'm trading these micro treasuries because you don't take very much risk on them. So today I took a trade, made $15, and that was like a pretty big move in treasury. So you're not risking very much at all. No stress. It's just fun. And I don't look at this as like you're trying to be a millionaire. For me, it's a hobby. And I'm happy if I cover my commissions for the month. So that's how I normally trade. Now I do have, if I can switch things over here for you, I do have charts. And there's a lot of things on there that would take me a really long time to explain what you're looking at. And you could read more about that at speculatorset.com because you can download the indicators and use them. If you have NinjaTrader, you can use my indicators as a $10 subscription. But here's the thing. Markets. Do I have things back up here correctly? Let me put the fidelity back up. Okay. Markets are very statistically efficient. So if you see that when a certain pattern happens, that it tends to resolve up 90% of the time or something like that, then what are you going to do? You're going to go and you're going to trade that. And as you trade it more, you're going to size up and you're going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And when you do that, orders move markets. This is the most important thing you could learn from me. Orders are what move markets. Okay. If you can predict future orders, then you can predict future price. That's why this trade is so easy, because we know that people are going to come and buy this just because it's Donald Trump, right? So we can predict that more buy orders are going to come in. Okay. So orders move price. So when you buy it, because of this technical inefficiency that you see in the market, you remove it from the market. And so then maybe other people catch on to it. So what do you do in that case? Because in order for you to make money, you have to buy it before they do. So now, like, you take it earlier. Like if it was a moving average crossing, maybe instead of taking it when it crosses the moving average, you take it just before it crosses the moving average. Or you use a moving average that is faster, right? So that you get in earlier. And eventually you get in so early that the thing that you were looking for doesn't even exist anymore. And so the end result is, and this is all based off of a study that they've been doing since the 80s. Probably the first study that was really about this was by Albert Kyle in 1985. That's the seminal, that's like the market microstructure, the first paper. That's the one you got to read. Albert Kyle. They've been studying this for 30, 40 years now. And what they found is that because of that, the market is very statistically efficient. So it's very difficult, if not impossible, for me to go and look at what the market did and see what the chart is and say, okay, I should buy because this is what the chart did. It just doesn't work that way. But on the other hand, the market is not efficient. Everybody says like the efficient market hypothesis. It's funny, like technical analysis is actually the opposite of what it is, because they say that the market is informationally efficient, which means price reflects everything that investors know about the market right now. It's not true. But then they say, but you can still take advantage of trends and use technical analysis on it, when it's quite the opposite. The market is very statistically efficient, but it is very informationally inefficient, because a fund might rebalance. A really good example here with the treasuries, because yields rose a lot recently. Have you heard about, I'm sure that it was a big enough rise that even if you're not super into stocks, you might have heard about interest rates rising, right? Well, the week before that, the treasuries, they were doing auctions, and there was people buying in the auctions, and treasuries were just moving up like crazy. And that was happening because there were people out there that had to buy treasuries because they like turn around and sell it to people later in the month. Like they need their inventory and stuff. And there's not a lot of treasuries out there because the Federal Reserve bought them all. So in that instance, when the treasuries were moving up, did it tell us something fundamental about the economy? No, it was just happening because of liquidity needs. And then the very next week, then it was, okay, yes, but the Federal Reserve is going to taper. They are going to raise interest rates, and we're too high. And so there was an instance where you could very, very easily identify that there was a market inefficiency there, right? There was information that like literally everybody in the market knew that the Federal Reserve was going to taper asset purchases, but it wasn't correctly priced into the interest rates because of short-term liquidity needs, right? So the market is statistically efficient, but not informationally efficient. So I put a lot of information on my screen, and I use that because I need to see what the liquidity conditions are, right? And there are things that I can do that can really help me identify when it's a good place to get in and when it's a good place not to get in. But ultimately, when I'm taking a trade like this morning, I took a trade on the interest rates rising. And how did I do that? It was because I knew something. I knew that the rates were likely to rise. The economic reports that we had this morning were pretty okay, and the trend has been higher rates. And so I'm sitting there stocking a short and looking for an opportunity to go short. And it's the same with DWAC, right? I came in, I said, I know that people are going to buy it because of Donald Trump. So I want to get in at a good spot. And when it came back to 18, that was the spot. I put a limit order in, it got filled, right? And that's how I do it. Oh, don't fight with the ace. Oh, you know what though, Ace, you shouldn't fight with them. They're not. He's funny. Ace doesn't like Donald Trump. He's here every morning. So just what you should do is you should prod him. I mean, I don't think that Ace is like liberal, but he doesn't like Donald Trump. He's kind of more like one of those never Trump Republicans. So you don't get mad at him. Just prod him, right? You could tell him, well, isn't it fun being poor? No. What order flow showing in DWAC? What is the color? Well, so these colors, it just shows whether price went up or down. It's really hard to see order flow with stocks. So I think here, hold on, I have to show you this camera so that I can kind of open up the window, and then let's see here. There is this window here called, oh man, how do I show it though without? Hold on a second. I'll do it like this. And then put that one over front of it. DWAC. Okay, so okay, now I can show you. So do you see this little thing kind of down in the lower center of the screen? Your face cam zoom. Yeah, I have a DSLR camera, and it's pretty. It's in pretty close. I'm usually not looking over here so much, but I have to have something else on my screen for the moment. Okay, so what is this showing you? This is showing you the same thing that we see on the DOM. These are the limit orders at each price, although it's a little bit different because they're showing us the different exchanges, right? It's not all on one exchange. And then these are like the orders going through. So when I see it on the DOM, it's very easy for me to interpret what's going on. When you see it over here, it's a lot more difficult. I mean, it's possible, but it's just really hard for your brain to interpret that much going through so quickly, right? You can see there's thousands of shares going through every second. There's like 1,000 lot orders coming through and stuff. That's crazy. But yeah, so that's kind of how you can kind of see order flow. You could also use Bookmap. I think Bookmap lets you look at stocks. But the reality is that the data and technology in stocks for retail traders is not quite there yet for you to really see and interpret order flow in stocks. Active Trader Pro, Fidelity, fonts are super small. Yeah. Anyways, I'm going to open this chart back up to be like the full size. Oh, why is it not... Oh, that's weird. Can I... Maybe if I pull it up again, or maybe I can go to like Disney and then DWAC. There we go. I hated that it was like, I want to see this, right? And then let's move that little thing over a little bit. There we go. That's a little bit better, yeah? Yeah, we're still in the 43 range. Okay, so for in managing my portfolio, I use Fidelity. The only reason I use Fidelity is because I used to work at a bank and they gifted me some stock and they gave me that account. And it just turned out to be a really good broker. And so that's how I ended up with them. And then the other stuff that you see, like the depth of market over here, kind of over on the left, that's Jigsaw. I'm an affiliate with Jigsaw, so if you decide to buy Jigsaw, it's like, I think it's $500 roughly, and then there's a $50 a month to actually like click on the DOM. Like you can just read it, but put your orders in through NinjaTrader or whatever. But if you want to actually click on the DOM, you have to pay $50 a month. Worth it, but not everyone wants to do that. But anyways, so I have an affiliate link. If you do purchase it and use the affiliate link, it helps the channel out a lot. But then I also use NinjaTrader. So on like this chart on the far left of the dollar index, I'm doing that through NinjaTrader. How many years have you been trading for? Oh, a long time. No, so for futures trading, I've been trading futures since about 2016. So late 2016 is when I started trading futures. Before that, I was not allowed to trade futures because I worked for a bank, who will remain unnamed, and probably the fact that I won't tell you who it is should probably tell you exactly who it is. But they don't allow their employees to trade. So I worked for them from 2010 until 2016. So I worked for them for 6 years. And then before that, from 2008 to 2010, I just would trade like on Thinkorswim or things like that, like simulators. But I got really into markets in 2008. So I've been doing it for a while. Well, they hit 55. Well, that's what I want. That's what I'm looking for. We still got plenty of time to do it, but you can see here, of course, again, I can't see the liquidity very well, but just based on what I'm seeing the chart doing here, it does look like we've kind of settled into a liquidity hole. So what we may see is we'll settle into this hole, and then maybe there will be a late run where they will try and push it in a certain direction. We'll see what happens. What do you predict the share price to hit in 2 days? I don't know, man. I really don't know. I would really like it to be above 55. Again, if it becomes like $100 billion market cap company, then it would be worth like $2,000, right? That's crazy. But I don't like to make predictions like that because, anything can happen. I don't have any way to value this, right? I want to be really careful. I want to say something that will make some people crazy. I want to be like, oh, Seth, you said that it was going to go to $100 and it didn't. It's all your fault. And I lost, I don't want that to happen. And like, here's the thing. You can't necessarily predict those things. I mean, if I knew how many orders were going to come through, then I could predict it. But that was really useful for GameStop. I kind of knew where it was going to go to based on how many shares the shorts had to cover. You could kind of predict how far it was going to go. But in this case, because we don't know the valuation, we don't know how many people will become interested in it. It's like a huge wild card. All I know is that we're likely to see more people buying it after us, right? Remember, predicting price is about predicting future order flow. So what kind of orders do we expect to see people doing in the future? I think that what will happen is people will learn about the company and say, oh yeah, I want to invest in that. And that in the future, we'll see people continue to buy it. That's what I think. But with all that said, it's like a super risky thing that we're doing here. It's a really unusual situation, and I don't 100% know how it turns out. And there's a decent chance, there is a non-zero chance that I will just lose everything that I put into it, which is perfectly fine with me. Whether you hate or love Trump, this is $1,000 stock in the next 2 years if he actually launches the platform. I mean, it's possible. I don't think in 2 years, but it's possible. It's all speculation. Yeah, that's why I'm speculator Seth. It really is. Although, here's the other thing. Is like they got the social media aspect of it. But I'm more interested to see what their streaming platform is. What will they be able to get on their streaming platform? Will they have programming that I'll be interested in? You know what drives me crazy right now is I would like to go and like watch documentaries about history and that sort of. I used to love the History Channel and the Discovery Channel before I decided that I hated Comcast's guts and I was just willing to give up watching TV for the rest of my life just to spite them. And I wish that there was more of that kind of content on Netflix. So will they have good documentaries? I hope so. You would think that they would want to have a lot of documentaries about history and stuff like that to teach people, like history and the Constitution and stuff. I would totally watch that. Or maybe they'll get popular right-wing politicians to make video series. A constitutional theory class by Ted Cruz. That's I don't know if that would probably be a really terrible program. I don't know if he would be very good at that. That's the sort of thing, though. What do you think it's going to be like? I would, but only the money I don't care about losing. Yeah. Well, and I do think, this is another interesting aspect that I haven't really thought too much about, but I think you're right. I think there's going to be a lot of people that are going to come and invest in this and buy this, not because they think it's going to go up, but because they believe in the idea, because they believe that social media companies have gone way past what they should be, and that they're trying to basically, like, they're censoring speech, even though they're not like the state censoring speech, and that something should be done, and that this is a way to do something about it, is to have a free market with competition. And I believe that too. And yeah, I hope that they do. I hope that they're successful. I know Ace doesn't want them to be successful because he doesn't like Donald Trump. But even you got to admit, Ace, it would be super nice. It would be super nice if there was a better social network than Twitter and Facebook, wouldn't it? Don't make it weird. What type of water is that? It is water. You know what? I got this. This is borosilicate glass. So apparently there's different kinds of glass. There's like lime something glass, and there's borosilicate. And borosilicate basically just has more of a certain kind of chemical in it that makes it tougher and harder. So there's no chance of any chemicals leaking into it. It may just be my imagination, but it does taste better. I think it tastes better. So I really love that water bottle. And if you're going to trade, you should have a water bottle. Because dehydration is going to lead to poor decisions. You're trading a small percent of your portfolio and you believe in the idea. Yeah. If people are willing to take the risk. I am for regulation of speech that is harmful. Okay. How do you decide what is harmful, Ace? Like, how do we put a... Because it sounds to me like Donald Trump does want to make it so that you can't harass people on the platform. Like, I think that he's saying that if you got on the platform and you start to say things about Donald Trump that are false and libelous, I think that they will still ban you. That's I forget what the exact wording was that they used that made me think that that's what they were going to do, but now is the chance to short. Do you think that this is a short, Ace? So I would not recommend shorting it. He thinks that you'll lose it all. Why do you think that you would lose it all? I mean, I think it's a possibility. I don't think it's a super strong possibility. I think that there is a 10% chance that this collapses and we lose everything. I must speculate. If you feel you're right, by all means, short. Yeah, there you go. No, I think that he knows better that you don't want to step in front of a moving train like this. he just doesn't want Donald Trump to be successful. That's all. I get it. We make fun of him all the time. It's an empty box, promise full of baloney. So you don't think that it's actually going to happen? You don't think that they're even going to be able to release a website? Is what it sounds like you're saying. Yeah, I mean, it's possible, right? I mean, they're making a pretty aggressive. There's a pretty aggressive business plan. I don't think that they would have gotten the SPAC to sign up on it if it was really all going to be bogus, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I think I'm going to make some money off of this. I can see a website. I can also see it fail. Well, it could be that I don't think they would outright fail. There's no chance that they release their social networking website and there's not a certain group of people that use it, right? But there was a chance that Facebook would have failed, right? Because even though it was like a popular website, they might not be able to monetize it correctly. They might make mistakes along the way that piss everybody off. Like, there's all sorts of risks for sure. And you never know. Like, I tell you, I voted for the guy, but Donald Trump has done some things, particularly later into his presidency, that I didn't think were super great decisions. Generally, he's pretty good and on the ball, but sometimes when he doesn't really have people, the right people around him, then he doesn't do as well. So there's risks with it for sure. Is there a way to track who is buying the stocks? Not really. I wish you could go through and you could look at every order and the size of it, and you could try to categorize the investor by the size of the order and which exchange it was on. But it's kind of iffy, right? You used to be able to go in and see how many Robinhood users owned a stock. That was really useful. But then that was too useful and Robinhood got rid of it. Does Ace? I don't think, Ace, did you vote for Bernie Sanders? You guys got to understand, Ace is like my best friend. So don't be too mean to him. But he is not a Donald Trump fan at all. Too far, bro. Okay, he is not a Bernie Sanders fan. I was, that might have affected my opinion of him. Pantsuit lady. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I tell you what, my ex, when we were dating, she was in a pageant and they asked her, who are you going to vote for? And she said Hillary Clinton. And I think she mostly gave that answer just to shock people. Like, that was the kind of person that she was, because when she was with me, she was like as conservative as can be. But people were so like, oh, no, you would vote for Hillary Clinton? I don't know. Sometimes I look at what Joe Biden is doing. I have to say, I am not a fan of President Biden, man. I cannot think. I think he's worse. Everybody's all like, oh, he's going to become like Jimmy Carter. He's already well past that. Like, he is. I don't think that anybody else has been as big of a failure for president as Joe Biden has been in his first year. It's nuts, right? But sometimes I look at some of the things that Joe Biden's doing and I'm like, Hillary might not have been so bad. She'd be better than Joe, at least. At least she is a decent American, if you say so. I wish Biden was less of an old goat. Well, I don't think that he's really actually president, right? He's probably not the one calling the shots. Do you think that they could halt it again? Nah, we'd have to get up to like $60 for them to halt it again. A Greta Thunberg supporter? Oh man, I haven't heard anybody talk about her in a while. Oh, is they going on Fox? Well, I could pull it up for you guys here on stream. Fox does have a live stream on YouTube, But if I did that, they would probably take it down. You know what, though? I need to get some food. It's 1 o'clock. So I tell you what, don't go anywhere. You know, it's hard when you're streaming and there's lots of people watching. You don't want to leave because people will leave. But I need to get some food. So I'm going to get something to eat. I'm going to be right back. All right. And don't fight too much with Ace. Okay. You guys play nice. All right, I'm back. How we doing here? You guys didn't fight too much. So we did lose a few viewers, but that's okay. Thank you guys very much for all the likes, by the way. It makes such a big difference for the channel. So, shall we do a poll here? Let's do a poll. So what are we at? 47 right now? So I think to make it fair, we have to use the current price. Okay, create a poll. Close. Above 47? Below 47. Ask your community. All right, put your votes in now. Do you think the DWAC will close above the current price or below the current price? You would give Donald Trump a nice drink and some food? Okay, that's good. These carpets are not going to vacuum themselves. Oh, man. I'm gonna keep going for another hour. I'm gonna go to the close. But then I got other stuff I gotta do. But one time special thing, I think it was worth watching. I've never quite seen something quite like this. I mean, the GameStop thing was a little crazy, but this is, I think that there's things about this situation that are even more insane. You won't let anybody harm him? Oh, okay. So I want to go back. Was there any, I'm sorry when there's so many people, I don't get all, I feel sick at my trades today. Oh, Cessna, I hope that you're doing okay. Saw that one of the executives was going on Fox, so that'd be interesting. Oh yeah, that was a week ago. I'm way back now. If every Republican bought 5 stocks and just held, well, you know, this is a way to do, I don't know quite exactly why you're saying that, but if you want to manage a portfolio, of course, probably the best thing is to just get in an index fund, right? You know, like managing a portfolio, it's hard, and you're probably not going to do as well as the market, but it's really fun, and I enjoy it. And if you're willing to put in the work, you can beat the market, especially as a retail trader. And if that's the game that you can play, then I would recommend 5. Once you get more than 5, it's too hard to keep track of as a part-time gig. So 5 stocks, know everything about those stocks. Any kind of news, you got to know. Every time there's earnings, you read the earnings, know what's going on with the company. But 5 stocks, and yeah, you can do quite well. Yeah, or you can make 10% per year. So let's go, Brandon. Dude, that thing has gone way further than I thought it would. When I first heard that people were chanting at, sports games, I was like, yeah, but they would say stuff about Trump. This is gonna blow over. But it turned into a real meme, man. I'm gonna take a few bites here. Well, after 11 votes, so half the stream is voted, and 9 of you think that it will close above 47, and Ace and one other person think they will close below it. Hey, NASDAQ, how are you doing? What are you doing? I'm having enchiladas, leftover enchiladas. Yeah, I heard that they threatened to take the song down too. I was like, what? Can you believe? Or then there's just see that thing where the Canadian government was saying that, like, if you reference it in emails, they were going to delete it or something. What? You're in Canada. Why do you care? Now, you say that the rapper was taken off of Twitter? Really? By the way, just a comment for those of you more regulars watching the S&P 500. It's been pretty calm today, hasn't it? Wouldn't you say? I'm wondering here. They could maybe buy into the close. Who do we have closing today? Like what? I'll pull a thing over here. We'll use this one over here. truthsocial.com. No, let's go and see who do we have reporting after the bell today. Where is my here, earnings report calendar? Okay. So the largest companies, we got Intel, Danaher. I've never heard of them. What is Danaher and why are they larger than AT&T? But we got AT&T, Union Pacific, Blackstone, Freeport McMoran. That's important. Them. Copper. That's a big one. Chipotle. Barclays. We got a couple of big guys coming out today. So, but nothing that are they're like, you know, the insane people buy them and stuff. It looks like the people are most interested in the Intel. And what is Snap? Oh, Snap is like the what do they call it? Oh, some of these were in the morning though. Which of them are reporting after? Who is reporting after? Yeah, most of these guys reporting after aren't as big deals. Oh well. So I didn't see anything that would be too significant to make me think that I should see any unusual activity going into the close. They're talking about it on Fox Business again. CNBC gave it 5 seconds. Well, it's got to be to the point where, I mean, it is going to catch some news headlines. Do you think it's on Reddit now? Let's go see if we find it on Reddit. Bitcoin is a negative sum game? Yeah, probably. I'll go look at that. Oh, and I need to see. Yes, I would really want to see. I totally forgot. They're releasing a new Sony camera today. I need to see if I need to go and get that or not. I could get one. I could justify buying one. But if it has really good autofocus, I might switch. Well, I don't see anything about Trump. Let's go and search for his name. Trump. And the time, the last 24 hours. A billionaire who supported Trump in 2020 says he talks to Joe Manchin every week and urges him to stay tough. Well, that's interesting. There you go. This is where we're seeing it. Trump's new social media platform will bar users from making disparaging remarks about it. Well, they don't have like a link or anything. It sounds to me like that they're going to prevent libel, which I'm actually kind of interested in. Like, I hate responding on Twitter to something and getting swarmed by people. It's retarded. This is just from the terms of service. There you go. Prohibited activities. As a user of the site, you agree not to disparage, tarnish, or otherwise harm, in our opinion, us and or the site. Okay. It cannot be used in connection with any commercial endeavors except those that are specifically endorsed or approved by us. Well, that might be a problem too.
Block sell.
That might be a problem too. Did Treasuries sell in there into the close? Did you hear that? Block sell? Curious that the 30-year is once again kind of in the middle and the 10-year on the low end. So we continue to see flattening. It's not what we want to see. That means that they don't really see interest rates raising a whole lot over the course of 30 years, is what they're saying. Well, is that the biggest? Okay, so the biggest, political humor, 2.4. Oh, 4.2. No, that's, okay. So it really didn't get to Reddit at all. Now let's go to /r/Wall Street Bets. Oh, how come it doesn't autofill that one for me? I go there all the time. They're not talking about it, man. Tried shorting Trump. Oh, jeez. Is there any, like, what if I just search for DWAC? DWAC. DWAC. There's stuff in the daily discussion. What? I'm not even finding any when I search here. Really? You know what this means, though, right? Means that there's just that many more people out there that could buy it in the future. Where was that block sell at? 06. So you tend to see this big block orders in the treasuries around these times because this is where the options bit closes for treasuries. CNBC only pushes Pelosi's husband's stock portfolio. Well, you remember CNBC doesn't get paid based off of how much money you make from it, right? They get paid by how many people watch, and that colors their commentary. Are we above 47? Got to be above 47. You think they can handle another few hours? Now, let's come in here. When did we first run into things? At 2 o'clock. So I'm thinking that maybe at the bottom of the hour, they could start to make a move and then they'll try and push for the highs in the end. That's what I think I would be looking for. You barely found out about it when it was $45? Well, I am a little like miffed that like, I could have bought it at 13. I guess 13 versus 18 wouldn't have been such a big deal, but I got 18. Can you believe right here, right there on that bar right there? So effing lucky. Seth just lucky, I guess. You say it's not trending on Google or YouTube? It really does seem like they are. I mean, I suppose that I'm giving a conspiracy theory, but like, how is it not being mentioned on the Wall Street Bets thread? That's a little crazy to me. So if we go to finance.yahoo.com, does it show up in the most active stocks? Let's see here. Trending tickers. Yep. DWACW. So what is the difference between the DWAC and the DWACW? Well, this one has less volume. I mean, one of them is going to be like preferred shares or something like that, but I don't know if Yahoo is going to say. I'm just curious as to that when I come in here, we look at trending tickers, that it's the DWACW that shows up there. Because now I'm like, which one was more? 2,394% versus 360%. Interesting. Okay, but if I had bought this one at, what time was it? 11:30 my time. So that was around 1 o'clock. So that was right here. That would have been $10 versus $12. Oh, I definitely made the right choice. It looks like DWAC was like the winner overall from the previous day, but from when I took it, it's not. Does seem to me like a media blackout. Okay, so let's read about forbids anyone from criticizing the website. Yeah, that is not going to look good, I think. I mean, like, people are going to hear that and they're going to make fun of it. Oh, let's see here. Some people found a way to access the sites and created accounts and logged in. Like, I'm gonna start using it, and the people that are anti-Trump are just gonna give everybody that uses it crap, aren't they? Warrants. So what is the difference between the warrant and the regular stock? Let's search. This is not something, I'm not an expert on SPACs. This could be the whole thing about it could be structured in a way that we lose money off of it. Warrant is a contract that gives the holder a right to purchase from the issuer a certain number of additional shares of common stock in the future at a certain price, often a premium to the stock price at the time of the warrant is issued. Retail investor exposure to warrants have increased substantially as a result of retail's investment interest in the IPOs. Importantly, in most cases, an investor cannot trade or exercise the fractional warrants typically issued as part of a SPAC unit. Rather, the investor must accumulate a whole number of warrants in order to trade this warrant or exercise a warrant, usually at a price of $11.50. For example, if a SPAC unit consists of one share of common stock and 1/3 of a warrant, an investor would need to purchase 3 units in order to own a whole warrant. The policy stops liberal check from taking the site down. Warrant is like a call option on a single stock. That's what it sounded like from reading it there. But what I don't understand though is why did DWACW, why is that one up 2,000% today? But when I look at the price, I would have bought it at 10.13 and it's up at like 13 now. Like I would have only made $2 a share on this one. And this one I made like way more. Bought right there. Oh, not at 30. No, it was at 18. I bought it at 18. Oh, I got this chart all wrong. Okay, I got it over here. Yeah, it was at 18 over here. So then it would have been 5. Would have been 5. Okay, so I got it for $5. So I would have doubled my money. Yeah. Which is about what I did. I don't know if this one is actually moving more alpha than this one. Shares in Digital World Acquisition sure by 400%. It does seem like that this one is trading more though. Well, this one's trading more actual volume at least. Which is actually kind of odd because this one has smaller shares. But that's why I'm wondering when this gets like rolled into a different company, do these shares get like some special privilege? Like what is the difference with that? No, Tom says common stock will trade more. Okay. See, this me, I'm a futures trader. Don't even, you feel like you know so much about the market and then there's so many other things that you don't know. Tom says correct, but I don't know what it was that I was saying that he was saying correct about. Does it mean that the warrant ones are like preferred shares or something happens differently to them when the actual full company goes on and I made the like absolute wrong decision in trading the other one? Could be. Oh man, should I spend $2,500 on a Sony A7 IV? I'm kind of tempted. But I bet you that I could probably get an A7 III for a lot cheaper now. Oh, okay. So here I'm reading more. Not all warrants allow you to exercise them and buy stock under the terms immediately. You have to wait until certain events happen. So the event might be that they go public, right? So there's the risk that they don't go public. So before they go public, before this news, you really did want to own the warrant, but now that that's happened, they should be priced pretty similarly. So it does sound like for what I'm doing that I do just want the regular shares. Do you know why the level 2 data not shown correctly in Jigsaw data? Well, so what are you seeing incorrectly? Because I've never seen any kind of problem. And, well, I mean, every once in a while it'll do something weird, but... Is the House voting on whether to hold Steve Bannon in contempt? Well, he's already in jail, right? I don't know. What more can they do to them? Yeah, you have to look at the SPAC filing paperwork to look at the value of how the warrants are set up. But in theory, if you have a well-managed SPAC, they have a very high chance of having a great stock. On which application can I buy DWAC shares? Well, are there brokers limiting the buying of shares on it? I'm not aware of any, but I use Fidelity. I really like Fidelity. They haven't pulled any of those kinds of shenanigans like they did with, like Robinhood did with, like Robinhood did with GameStop. Excuse me, I'm looking over here. I have my monitors all screwed up today. Yeah, no, I think you understand it a lot better than I. This SPAC thing in particular, you know more about it than I do. I knew what a special purpose acquisition vehicle was, and I knew that it was all a big deal and everything, but I had never looked into warrants and all that. That's a new concept to me. You're on Weeble, but I'm not going to suggest it at all in this time. Yeah. No, I thought that he was pardoned for stealing the wall. No. I thought that they were holding him in contempt of court or whatever, and that he was being jailed for refusing or something. You switched from Robinhood to Fidelity, yeah. I mean, I was always on Fidelity, but oh my gosh, that was so terrible. Okay, so the E-mini is seeing a bit of a jump here. Look at the hitting into new highs. We're below 47. Yes, once the merger goes through, so what should happen is my DWAC shares should turn into, whatever the new Trump ticker will be. I think that it will be Trump Media and Technology Group, right? So it will be TMTG is my bet, unless it's already taken. Okay. I'm just going to switch you guys over to here. That way, and now that we got about 30 minutes left, I'm going to close the poll, okay? So what did we end up getting? 76% of you think above. Well, I hope so. I hope so. What's Yada? Oh my gosh, Yada is so freaking cool. Okay. I forgot about that. Okay. So Yada is a savings account, but it's a little bit different from a traditional savings account because a traditional savings account will just pay you interest every month or whatever the deal is, right? Yada, what they do is they give you tickets to a monthly lottery drawing. So the number of tickets that you get is based on how much money you have in the savings account, and they don't cost anything, right? You still keep the money. So like you could put, I think it's for every $50 you get a ticket. So for every $50 you have in the account, you get a ticket. And then those are basically put into a lottery, and that's how you make your interest instead. So it's a savings account, but it's more fun because it's like a lottery. And they have a really amazing referral program. So if you use the link that I have in the video description, or you use the code SpeculatorSeth when you sign up, then they give you like 500 tickets. It's basically the equivalent of $10. Like, on average, you'll make $5 to $10 when you sign up and fund it with $50. So if you sign up and you put $50 in it, then you'll get 500 tickets and I'll get 500 tickets, I think is what it is. So what you should do is you should go and sign up with my code SpeculatorSeth and, you know, put the $50 in and then turn around and tell your parents and have your parents put $50 in. And then you'll have, you know, 1,500 tickets and you make like $15-20. It's like literally like practically free money. It's and again, it's just a savings account. So you're not out anything. You're just putting money into a savings account. It encourages you to save. And that you can even use it. They have a savings card now too. So you can even use the money off of, you know, you can get a savings card and use it to pay for stuff. So it's great, but they have a really cool referral program. The way I found out about it was from Graham Stephan, if you've ever watched his YouTube channel. So it's really cool. You'll sign up. Cool. I'm excited. I've had a good number. Once the other thing is there's like tiers. So once you get to the top tier, then you're actually making good money when people sign up. So of course that means that yes, I do benefit if you guys sign up, but you can benefit too. You can, because if you get all of your friends to sign up for one, can you lose the money? No. The tickets don't cost anything. So is it a bank then too? Yeah, it's basically like a bank. No. Yeah, so you get $50 for every $50 you have in there, you get a ticket, but the ticket doesn't cost anything. You'll still have the $50 afterwards, and then plus anything that you win from the ticket. And usually, like for me, last week I won 10 cents. It's a small pyramid. Yeah, really. Well, I mean, there is an actual, it's not a pyramid scheme because for a pyramid scheme, there's not an actual product in here. Here, the product is an actual interest rate yielding account, right? And yeah, right, as it is right now, like here's the thing is Yada is still pretty small. So as it is right now, they're willing to give you a lot of tickets for when you bring somebody onto the platform. It's really valuable to them. So it's just an absolutely amazing deal. Cause like, think about it. You get like, there's tiers. So to get to the top tier, you have to have like 10 subscribers, right? So once you have those 10 subscribers though, then you're basically like making $30 or $40 per referral. So think about that for a second. And just, it's so easy too, right? Because you're not asking people to buy anything crazy, like to give up money or anything. They're just putting it into a savings account, something that we should all really be doing more of anyways. Like a rainy day fund is what I would recommend doing it with, right? It's put money away for a rainy day fund in it. But it's just the easiest thing because you all have, you know, family and friends that could sign up for it too. And then you get all of these tickets and I'm not even kidding. I put in $50 And then just from like referring my friends and family, and I think we had a few people on stream, I'm up to like 80 or 90 bucks. So like I doubled my money, I practically doubled my money with it. And this is supposed to be in a savings account, right? But the thing that's really cool about it though is like, you know, you go get a savings account, you expect to make like what, 1% per year, right? But with the way the Yada is set up right now, at least right now, you will make more from the lottery thing than you would with the 1% savings account. That's the coolest part. That's the coolest part. That's why I said it's a small pyramid. Yes. Well, it's not. Yeah. There's a lot of these things about like Ponzi's and pyramid schemes. Like what makes a pyramid scheme different from multi-level marketing? Because that's what the big deal was with those leggings and stuff. And what will make something a pyramid scheme is that they're not actually a product that you're selling them. Is there a scientific reason why price moves up tepidly and down rapidly? You know, first of all, that's certainly true. Second of all, what we know from behavioral finance suggests that would happen. I haven't seen anything else. Like in terms of the limit order book, there's nothing unique about the limit order book as to whether you're buying or you're selling. So there's nothing structural in that would make it go up faster or go down faster. But it's just the case that, especially with stocks, that people are typically buying things, right? They're only selling if something really is going wrong. But most people just buy and then never sell it. Now, the behavioral finance reason would just be that people care more about losses, right? Like you remember the losses more. Do you see the triangle forming on the chart? Yeah. You're talking about this. Yeah. I do see it. I don't concern myself with such things because there really doesn't. I'm just telling you. So I spend a lot of. I'm a programmer by trade. I do have a day job, and I'm a programmer. Actually, site reliability engineer now. Yeah, that's all like a pennant. And so I backtest things, right? I go and I put into NinjaTrader every possible technical setup that I can possibly come up with to see if, you know, you can make a profitable strategy out of it. And my conclusion has been that all of these, basically any kind of technical analysis strategy that you can read on the internet, it doesn't really work. And that there really is not actually a edge on which direction it will go. People will say, well, you know, it's all like, there's a 50% chance it's going to go this way, or maybe this breaks down 60% of the time, but the 30% of the time that it does go, it really goes. And so it's worth it. No. This is a 50-50 basically. How can I get into site reliability engineering? Oh man, that's a good question. So I stumbled into it, right? So the thing with me is that I've always kind of been thrown into the fire. I'm usually working on the application that's having problems and that they're trying to fix, right? And so I've ended up doing a wide variety of things. But what is going to get you into SRE is that you have to have both the software development skills and the infrastructure skills. So if you're doing it right now, you know, for instance, if you know how to use Azure or Amazon Web Services or any of those, right? And you really know how to go through the whole process of setting up a new server and installing your software on it, and you know how to automate that stuff too. That's the big thing, is you got to be able to automate it. We use Terraform is how we do it. Right. Those are the sorts of the things that the SREs do. And then the other component of it is monitoring. So the main thing that we do is monitoring systems. And to learn that, you just go and learn the monitoring systems. So we use Zabbix as an application. We used to use Sensu. There's Nagios. Nagios is really the biggest one. So, you learn those things, and then, you can get into SRE. And it's a place where there's some really good opportunity. Like if you're already a software engineer, then go and learn the SRE skills, and because those SREs get paid more. They're the most in demand, highest paid software engineering jobs right now. Is my understanding. DWAC these nuts. What is the name of this price change when the price moves up tepidly and down rapidly? Is there a term like a short squeeze? No, not really. It's just like a collapse or something. We'll see what happens. Like I said, we appear to have created a liquidity hole around 45, 46. So I don't necessarily know which way it's going to go. If I was trading this, I would certainly want to be buying below 46 and selling above 46, because I know that that's like the area that they're going to oscillate around. I hope that they go up to 55. And with the way that things are set up, I wouldn't doubt that they try and push into the highs of the day to close, but could be wrong. You might not see some of that weird behavior because there's no options for it yet. Once you see options for it, then people start buying stuff out of the money and everything. And Yep. And take some more bites of food here. Well, I'm just realizing now, because I said I would really like them to close above 55, but probably I shouldn't have said that publicly, because they're going to make sure, they're going to make doubly sure. So they're always watching me, man. I'm telling you, they're watching this stream. It's like whatever Seth says, we got to make sure that the opposite thing happens so that he's wrong, because we'd have real problems if lots of people started following him. That's what happens. So. Maybe they just close right at 47. That would be really funny too. Might be profit taking at the end of the day. Yeah, that's probably a good theory. There you go. Hey, Tom, thank you so much. I'm excited. You know what? Because I just like it. I love doing the tickets. You know what happened was we got the stimulus check, which I really didn't feel like I needed, but Congress insists. I guess I'm not going to say no, right? And we have something that we want to use it for that's in the future. So we're saving it away for now. So I told my wife, well, I put some of it in the Yada. So she put like 1,000 into the Yada. And so she gets so many more tickets than me, and I'm so jealous every week. It's like, no, I need to put $10,000. I would like to make a video. I should have done it earlier in the year. I could have done 10,000, but then what did we spend? What did we have to buy? We ended up buying something, and now I don't have that quite much. Oh, we have to put some of it into the kids' 529 accounts too. So, which is a savings account for education, right? But I was like, I should have put 10K and made a video. This is what happened when I put $10,000 into a Yada account. How much was it? Too much. Oh, I don't remember, dude. It's three kids worth. 3 kids worth. So you do the math. Ace Trades needed the stimulus. Oh no, he got it. He don't worry. He got the stimulus. Let me tell you, Jordan. So first of all, he's got like 4 or 5 kids. So he would have gotten the stimulus. Number 2, he doesn't have a day job. He just trades. I don't know if they could survive just on his day trading, but he swings like 5 contracts in the ES. Yeah. And he gets out like a bandit, like freaking every day. I don't know how he does it. Freaking every day. Yeah. It's like $700 per kid or something. It was a lot. Okay. Between that and the tax return and everything else, I was like, I don't know what to do with all this stuff. That's why he's a Brandon fan. I don't know. Anyways, so he does pretty good with the day trading, and he's shown me some of his statements too. When he first came in, I was like, nah, you're full of crap. There's no way. If you're really making the chin, show statements. And he was the first person that, no question, he immediately put a picture up on, like he took a picture of his most recent monthly statement and put it up where I could see it on Imgur or something like that, and then delete it afterwards, so I could verify that it was really him and he was really trading a live account. So he's a good trader. What he's doing is really like what we have this discussion every day, that is like, where do his profits come from though? Because we're not sure. I'm not even sure that he's sure. But yeah, he gets the stimuluses and he trades well. He is a Brandon fan, but he's not a Brandon fan. I don't think he is. He's a future sniper, I guess. He takes a really small profit, right? He only trades like 8 ticks in the S&P 500. So, yeah. But it's really impressive. So really impressive. And he showed me how it works. That's why, like, I don't want to tell people like the formula per se. He did change what it was doing before it was based on a moving average. And like I backtested it and I was like, well, this doesn't have edge. So I think it has more to do with his risk management more than anything. But yeah. But I don't really think that he is a Joe Biden fan. He is just he is an anti Trump and hardcore conservative, right? Because we live in Utah. I live in Utah. So, and he lives in Utah, and he used to be a member of the LDS church here, but he left. And so when that happens, he kind of tend to be anti everything LDS church. And, so Mormons tend to like Donald Trump. He's not going to like him, right? Because he disagrees with harmful beliefs, is what he says. But he's here every day. He's been here every day it's been like 2 or 3 years now. Yeah, we're really good friends. And Wynn's been around here every day too. Wynn is my biggest fan, really. She's so dear. I'm so lucky. I think about this all the time. Wynn is like, because she helps the channel so much. She comes in and tells you guys to like the video when I forget, reminds me of things, and it's so great. Sometimes people think she's a bot because she's so useful. But she's an older lady, lives in Tennessee. And I just constantly think what did I do to be so lucky that she clicked on my video that day and then decided to stick around? It was really something else. What is this? Well, you're writing some Korean in there. What does that say in Korean? Wait, no, I don't know what that says. You know what? I've been trying to memorize Korean letters, but I don't understand how they fit together. It doesn't make any sense to me. But I clearly recognize it. Well, actually, is it? I can't. That looks like Korean to me. Yep, I found Seth one evening during the debates back in the day. We talked politics, and I visited channel and began like, yeah. Well, that's the other thing that was funny is that I was, it was the Democrat debates. Because she was like, I'm not voting Republican anymore. So she wanted to see what we thought about the debates. That was funny. So the question is, a hold or sell? Well, it depends on you, really, right? For me, this is money that I'm totally willing to lose, and I want to hold it for the long term. I want to do the big trade, so I'm going to hold it. And that could mean that tomorrow this all falls apart and we open up at $10 tomorrow. Could totally happen, right? But maybe you're just a day trader and you're just using money that you use for day trading, and you're going to need that money. You need to close it so that it will start clearing, so that 3 days from now, so that on Monday you can use that money in your trading next week. So then maybe you need to close it, right? Big balls. Yeah, I hope so. I wish, when I did the GameStop thing, right, that was just a trade. It was like, well, it's going crazy, and I know that there's going to be a stop run, and at some point I need to take a profit, right? With this one, it's like totally different because I can just hold it forever. Probably. I hope. I really think it's possible that I may be able to hold it and it will never come anywhere close to my 18. I really hope that that's the case. I mean, if it's really as good of a trade as I hope it is, then that's what tends to happen. So you'll make money in them right away and they don't ever come even close to coming back. Let's see. Spidermark says only 20. I have 18 shares, actually. Should I admit that? It's a super tiny trade, guys. I'm a small fry. I take pride in being a small fry. I like it. Everybody thinks that you got to impress everybody by explaining how much money you have. Oh, look at me. I'm trading $10,000 a clip. I have 6 monitors. All these things. Those guys are full of shit. I don't want to be that guy. I'm small. Sometimes you make money, sometimes you don't. Safely. Well, so if we had to get in right now, what would we do? Now, that's a really good question. Here, this guy's saying what price? Harinder Jahaj. Sounds like somebody from India. By the way, I have a video that's like how to achieve day trading nirvana. I need to film that one. Okay, so where would I get out? Well, remember, we had a little bit of a liquidity hole here at 47. So probably anywhere within this range here. If we say that 45 is the middle of it, anywhere in here would probably be an okay place to buy. So if I really think that it's going to continue to go up, and I think we do have some reason to believe because it looks like we're still early. Not everybody knows about the stock and all of that stuff, right? Okay, so we could probably buy in this location and maybe have an expectation that it will go up at some point. Maybe not today. Maybe they just sell into the close and then tomorrow they move up. Or maybe it fades all week and it goes up in a year from now. I don't know. I think we have a good long-term setup though, right? Meanwhile, if I'm going to sell, I want to try and sell on this side of it, right? And that's just because I know that it's going to have a certain tendency to want to stay close to this price where most of the volume was traded. Because of basically there's more liquidity on these sides, right? So if you can get a good spot, yeah. super be great. Now, if we bought it right now at 43, can we be sure that it would close higher on? No, I don't know if I would be able to. I would feel really uncomfortable trying to get in right here if it was me and I wasn't already in at 18, right? Does a trailing stop loss go into the hour after hours? I think that kind of depends on your broker. So that you would want to go and look into your broker, because some brokers will allow you to trade in the overnight, but you have to get like a special exemption or special feature on your account to be able to do it. Saha says trailing stop or any stop does not work in the after hours. An exchange side stop might not work. An exchange side stop probably doesn't work when it's not regular market hours, but you could have a synthetic stop. So it would depend on your broker. I don't know. On stocks, I don't really like trading stocks with a stop. And in futures, you really have to do it because your risk is just unlimited, right? But in stocks, I would much rather just have size my position small enough that a really big move against me is not really a huge deal. So I get what you're feeling, because made some good money on it. You don't want to give any of it back, right? But that's just kind of the way that it goes. There's a lot of market movement is just random, right? And the market is inefficient. So a move down, it doesn't, even if it's like a really big move down, it might not even mean anything, right? Like it's entirely possible for this stock to open up again tomorrow at $16 and then close at 60. Could happen. And if you're trading a stock like this, you probably got to prepare yourself for that possibility, right? Well, it doesn't seem like there's like a crazy amount of volume. Let me try and pull out the quote for it, because I can't really truly see the volume for it. So pull that up so we can see the volume. It's interesting they got that last trade size. I wonder how many people actually pay attention to that and use it. And then you buy another stock at $16 to DCAM. Hey, Big Toasty, how are you doing? Welcome back. Oh, well, I got all caught up in Donald Trump is releasing a social media network, and they are releasing it to they're launching a public company with a SPAC. So I got in on the SPAC and caught a good winner. And I looked at it and I was like, this situation is so crazy, we should stream it. So we streamed it. We had 50 people at one point, but then I went and got lunch and I came back and most of them left. So that's why we're streaming at this time when we usually don't. Usually we only stream at this time if it's like the Federal Reserve Day. And I will be shutting down the stream here in 10 minutes. Once the market closes. Not much volume now. It does seem like it's kind of chilled out, doesn't it? What if we come in here to the settings and turn the volume chart on? Ah, there you go. And now we can see that there was the most volume on the open. Curious. No, Seth didn't even have time for one hum. Yeah, I will hum to myself sometimes when I'm not sure what to say. I didn't even eat all of my lunch. I don't feel too hungry right now, though. I haven't been, I didn't work out yesterday. I've been trying to take it easy. Today was a good day. The only thing that hasn't gone well for me today was that Kubernetes did not behave at work. But hey, I still got some time after this to fix that up. So, and I've been watching it here, but then I was like, not quite sure what to do with it at the moment. Could they ramp it the last 10 minutes? Totally. I mean, the E-mini made a good run up here in the last 30 minutes, right? Oh, somebody sent me a news article. I have to go read that. From the Cato Institute, I see. Yeah, this is going to be this is going to be the most controversial stock, man. There are going to be people out there that hate it so much and people that are just total diehards. I think we're going to have some fun with this. So also another reason why I really want to just keep my position at 18 and just hold it, because, you know, a year from now, they're going to do earnings and they're going to do earnings and, you know, it might be good or it might be bad. And people will have all of these opinions about whether the network is sustainable or not. And I'm going to want to still be in. I think this is a Tesla setup. Shorts could get wrecked and shoot the price to absurd levels. Well, so the difference with Tesla, though, Thomas, is that they've got the options, right? So maybe if we talk about this, maybe if you show up to morning live stream, I could talk about it more, because I don't think that 10 minutes is enough to really talk about this. But essentially, there is an inefficiency with options that kind of allows you to cheat. And move price without paying the consequences of it. And they 100% do that in Tesla. But you have to have options. And that's how they're able to do this over and over and over again with options. Once this thing has options, though, you might start to see some of the similar sorts of things. But you might also see people try and do it on the short side. So who knows? Q supporters are going to love it. Well, I'm not a huge fan of Q. I really hope that that's not what the platform turns into, is just crazy people and conspiracy theorists, because I kind of feel like that's what happened to some of the competitors, like Gab and stuff. But let's see. I hope that it's not just a social media website. I hope that they are actually have an idea that's like changes social media and makes it better, you know? I hope. That might be asking a little bit too much, but... You think that's funny, huh? Oh man, the thing you gotta understand about me, I try to be very logical about it, right? Like, if you're gonna convince me of something, there needs to be empirical evidence. That means evidence that I can look at and verify is actually evidence. You know, like if it's a research study, I can show you, here is the strategy that you want to use to trade, and here is the data set that we use, and you can verify for yourself that when you run against this data set, that these are the results that you get. That's empirical, right? None of what these Q guys do is empirical. And I loved to post on the Donald when it was on Reddit. Oh, I post there all the time. I loved reading that subreddit. I miss it. It's not as good now that it's Patriots.win, if I'm honest. And I argue with those guys all the time, and it's so funny because I'm like, I'm pretty right wing. I was a Donald Trump supporter. I got on like really early on, supporting his campaign, and then all of these people are calling me a progressive or something. I'm like, what? Telegram got you in at 14? Hey, good for you. You got an okay price. I got 18. I could have gotten in at probably 12. I mean, I was like, listen, I wake up at 5:30. I'm here before the market opens. I could have seen that news and said, oh, let's buy it on the open. It's what I should have done. Think about that. If I had done that, I would have made almost twice as much, right? Could have bought 32 shares at 10. Well, let's not say that I would have gotten 10. So let's say 15. No. Yeah, 15? 20 shares at 15 or something like that. Guess it wouldn't have been a huge difference, but it would have been a lot more. Could have gotten in a lot earlier. But that pullback, though, everybody's going to look at that day. I need to make sure I take a screenshot of it and I say, this is where I bought. And then that'll be like the only like really big winner that I ever get. And I'll be telling my grandparents, or like I'll still be streaming in 40 years. So when I'm 50 or 60. Yeah, when I'm 60. Okay. Yep. And here's my greatest trade ever. And this was the candle that I bought on. Yada, yada. Oh, I thought it was a really great network, but it just didn't work out in the end. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. It's either, I tell you what, I've never seen something quite like this. Like the opportunity for both great success and great failure, all in one singular moment, all packed into this one little ball of explosiveness. And you have no clue what's really ultimately going to happen. Like, looking at it here at this moment, here the first day that we were aware of this social media company, right? There's going to be news and twists and turns for this thing probably for years. Because it's not going to be the case. It's highly unlikely that like this company goes kaput next week, right? They're going to make the big play probably, and we'll see how far they go. It's 3:55 a.m. right now. I can get you tomorrow's lottery numbers. Really? Wait, you can read the future? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, I stream every morning at 8:20 Eastern time. So I only stream for about 2 hours. This is a special occasion. But I stream every day starting at 8:30 Eastern time. And every day, literally, like you can go back on this channel. If you go to my main channel page, I have a playlist of all of my past streams, and you can go and look and you can see what I did every morning for the past 4 years. Every day. So I would love to see you guys. If you want to be here for that, then make sure you click the subscribe button and click the bell icon. I have the subscribers of my channel. I have a very high percentage of people that click the bell icon because they want to be able to find the stream when we start in the morning. So it's really useful to do that. Plus, I'm not at the moment, because I have a baby, I'm not the most consistent at posting my weekly videos. I usually post a full-on video every week or so, or at least every month. But I've been really inconsistent lately because I've been having a hard time finding time to record. But so then there again, you want to have the bell icon clicked so that when I post a new video, you don't miss it. Okay, well, we're at 43. I don't know if it doesn't look like we're going to get the 47. It could be close. Oh, they're making a little bit of a push. Do you think DWAC will go up? In your opinion, no advice. Well, if I told you that I think that it will go up, then technically I kind of am giving advice, aren't I? I don't know. I think that the probability that there are more people to buy is very high. Yes. So I own this stock and I intend on holding it. That's what I can say. That way I'm only telling you what I'm doing and I'm not necessarily telling you how it applies to you or anything. Okay, so there is a decent amount of buying into the close, but they didn't get back to 47. Spida, he sold. Okay. Well, it will be really, really interesting to see where they open up tomorrow, won't it? Oh, you knew about the live stream because of the bell icon? Yeah. Buy in again at 43. That is if it opens at 43. Sometimes these things ramp overnight crazy. Okay, well, my voice is starting to go. It is time for me to go. I've got other work to do. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. Make sure, again, click the subscribe button, then the like button. If you're interested, I have those links below for futures traders, especially really useful. IATA account for everybody else. That's really great. If you know, the best savings account, IATA. So check that out. And yeah, thank you guys so much. It was fun. I will see you guys tomorrow morning, 8:20 Eastern time. And in the meantime, stay profitable, friends.